Peace, guys. I haven't seen you guys in a minute. I want to talk about the new moon, and then I want to pull cards. Because, yeah, it's time for the Hump Day reading. We have a new moon coming up on the 14th. Today is technically the 11th, so we're 3 days away from the new moon energy. Being present on the 11th, we don't have any celestial, like big celestial events happening. However, on yesterday, the 10th, or it's still today for me because I ain't go to sleep yet. I ain't really been to sleep the last couple days. I ain't going with y'all. But on the 10th, we had the moon and Saturn in alignment. So on Wednesday, if you felt yourself finding more like structure in your home and family realms, hey Leonidas, who's that? Tony? Um, yeah, if you find yourself finding more structure in your home and family, and your spiritual order, a lot of that was the moon and Saturn, as well as the moon and Neptune. They had their little triangle flowing around. We're in Aries, tropically speaking. So in our mindset, we have these new beginnings, and we're taking initiative and leadership, and these abrupt happenings, these solar plexus chakra happenings in our dreams, as well as in our space of authority. Different individuals we've been allowing to be authority over ourselves, over our way of life, our thinking, our education, what we eat, our medicine, our neighborhoods, etc., etc. They're undergoing this new beginning in Aries energy. In the same breath, these celestial bodies are still in Pisces constellation. So the events is still in the space of ending. So while our mindset is on the new beginnings and taking initiative and being in our confidence and courageousness, like really we're hyping ourselves up just the way Aries does. Aries know how to hype somebody up, get somebody riled up. Motivational speaker from Aries, like, yo, we gonna do this, we gotta be in charge of ourselves, we got this going on, we got that going on. Like even in the dream world, this is happening. In the events of things, as our mindset is on a new, we're still closing things up. So, you're still watching the slow, endings. And it's like, why is it taking so long? Because these celestial bodies are still in the constellation. All right. That's why it's taking so long. It's already in Aries in your brain, but we still in Pisces out here. The physical moves a lot slower than the thought. All right. So that's the alignment happening there. So yeah, yesterday we dealt with the triangle with the moon and Saturn and Neptune. That happened around between like seven. The moon and Saturn were in minimal angle and in conjunction between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. And then you had the moon and Neptune being in conjunction around 3:40 p.m. Mind you, I'm on CST time, so if you're on EST, you are an hour before me. So it would be like 2 o'clock in the morning and 5 o'clock in the evening. And then so yeah, we had like a little triangle in the sky. You want to get with your moon, your nurturing self, your Saturn, the structure, and your Neptune, your sensitivities, your spiritual self. That was happening. So because we had such a big thing happening in the sky yesterday, today we kind of get to chill. You know what I'm saying? We have a comet floating around that's highly visible. That's the 62P 60 wrong. I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't know who be naming these things. It's kind of crazy. Hey, peace. 29. But that comet is currently in the Sagittarius constellation, which is really cool because Sagittarius constellation deals with wisdom, from the oracle and the sages. So you have this comet, and comets pretty much are the accumulation of all the ancient celestial material. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's happening there. Today speaking. we hold on the Vedic chart. I get into tropical and Vedic too. I also want to create another window, so give me 1 minute. So today speaking, we still have the sun in Taurus energy, right? So we know that our sun is still in the Taurus constellation, right? Yeah, we know that. Okay, cool. And if you didn't know that, just to let you know, even though we're in the Gemini zodiac, we're still in the Taurus constellation. That's why we can have conversations of, what do you call it? A May Gemini is different than a June Gemini. And that's because the tropical chart is different. Peace, Aaliyah. How you doing? Peace, Nikki. Hey, Typo. Hey, y'all over there. But yeah, that's because The tropical chart is different. Then you get into the other planets. It's not just about the sun sign, first of all, and you are not your sun sign. Your sun sign is your experiences. You have Gemini experiences, or you have Taurian experiences. We are in experiences of Gemini right now, and our mindset, which is about community and communication and like tri-city traveling. And we see that the festival season is opening up. People starting to have more community events, starting to be, more aware and tune enlightenment. And of course, we always have like, the spiritual invocation happening to different demographics of people every time around this year too, because that too is Gemini. When you think about Gemini being associated with Elegua, the trickster energy, crossroads. Crossroads come into like good and bad, right and wrong. And so a lot of that kind of thing is being invoked at this space and time around this time of year as well. So we have those things going. In the meantime, in between time, we're still in the tourist experience on the tropical. We go outside, the flowers is blooming, the trees is beautiful, nature is looking great. We are still moving slow and steady, even though your mind is all into that quick air and you're all over the place and you're being flexible. The actions around you are still being slow and fixed and earth and grounded. Really very much based upon what you value and what you prioritize and your moral code to obtaining and maintaining those things. So that's cool, I guess. Yeah, okay. So that's your experiences. So if y'all want to get into y'all sun sign and get more in tune with your experiences, let me know, because that's what I do. That's what I do. I be like, I don't be irritated, but I just be looking at people talking about, I am this, I am that. And sometimes I will too, because I'm in the space of conversation. But when I say it, I know better. I have Virgo experiences. You know what I'm saying? I have Virgo experiences. I am not a Virgo. It's actually your ascendant sign. You're more your ascendant sign than you are your sun sign. Like I was saying, your sun sign are your experiences. Shit, you more your moon sign, because your moon sign is your energy at your comfort self and stuff like that too. So that's there. No, I'm not. I don't know what that says. Mirage? Is that married? I don't know what that means. But yeah, so that's that there. We have the sun in Taurus today. Hold on a second as I'm trying to multitask. And then we have the moon in Pisces. So while the sun is in the fixed earth energy in the third house of community and communication, so it's in that house of Gemini, we have the moon in Pisces in the space of endings and closings and being in tune with your sensitive self. Your nervous system is really heavy, really important here. So aligning your heart chakra experiences with your nervous system, which makes sense because your heart will start racing to let you know, and that makes your mind race and all those things like that. So you'll see that. And in the first house. So on today's day, it's a good time to pay attention to your intuition heavily, doing water things. Like if y'all buying water, in the water, doing water rituals, take a bath today, if that's your old thing. All those different kind of things is cool. Today we have the moon at 14 degrees Pisces. So let me see. I should have numbered these papers. Okay. We gonna get it. We gonna get it. Oh, okay. Hold on a minute. It's Friday night and I feel alright. Party's here on the west side. So I reach for my 40 and I drink it up. Something, got the keys in my dress.
I have no idea what they were saying.
I'm trying to find the paper and let me know about the nakshatra. Oh, my bad. Hold on. It's not in order. It's all over the place. Cause I haven't done my planetary forecast in so long, and I just came here on a whim. Like, let me just do it. I haven't done it in a while. I just want to do it. Just do it. So now I'm just out here just doing it, and I'm not in my perfectionist mode. Okay, I found it. So the moon currently in 14 degrees Pisces. That is. What the hell? Never mind. I don't know what the fuck. Okay, we're in Aquarius. Then we go to Aquarius to Pisces. Oh, so I should just keep going this way. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, start the day off in the Uttara Bhadra Pada nakshatra. Boom. We there for the first 2 degrees of Pisces, so we're probably out of it at this point. But that was ruled by Jupiter, bringing grounded, stable energy. Spiritual lessons and things are heavy for this. So let's get into the second nakshatra. You guys know the moon moves 13 degrees in a day, right? Yeah, we know that. Okay, cool. So the Ravati nakshatra, we're making it to the end of the road, you know, because Aries is the first nakshatra or lunar mansion. But this nakshatra is also ruled by Jupiter, bringing on intuition, empathy, and spirituality. I just need to go ahead and write my book. You know what I'm saying? I just need to go ahead and write my book because all these papers I got all over the place. But Ravati is ruled by Mercury, which we know is the planet of communication, intellect, and information processing, how we teach, how we speak, how we learn. And the drum is symbolized by this nakshatra. Pushan is the deity. And Pushan rules over protection, nourishment, and prosperity, security, and growth. Also, it's the guardian of travelers and, you know, points you towards growth and completion, right? Ravati is about compassion and healing. It signifies nourishing energy of the cosmos, offering comfort, protection, and support. So we're heavy on self-care, emotional healing, completion and fulfillment, closure, transcendence. We're bringing things to an end. We're bringing things to a close. And since the moon is here, there's an amplification of emotional sensitivity happening and nurturing tendencies. So you might feel the urge to help someone, offer some type of emotional support, create some sense of emotional security for yourself or for other people around you right now because where the moon is at. There's also a deep desire to connect with others on the emotional level. So, you know, have y'all friend circles, y'all community circles, things like that. It's just about nurturing and comforting, creating safe spaces right now. Ravati is it's a very spiritual lunar mansion. Mm-hmm. Not saying all the other ones aren't, but this one is, you know, Pisces is like heavy into it, right? So, you know, this is a great day. Like I was saying, if you guys want to do things with water, taking a bath, doing the water rituals, stuff like that. But it's also a good time to just go inward. Meditation, prayer, spirit, and like I said, spiritual rituals. But yeah, it's a good time to do some type of ritual for yourself today too. Yeah. And so when we get into... We're also in the third quarter. Mm-hmm. All these laptops. I'm over here pre-gaming. Oh, that's probably why I'm over here pre-gaming for the fucking Mercury retrograde is around the corner, y'all. My laptop stopped working a couple days ago. I knew the Mercury retrograde was coming up in a couple weeks, but I also didn't think about it. I'm just thinking like, Jesus Christ, can my laptop work, please? I need it. Gotta finish these readings I gotta do. And yeah. And now this laptop want to be all freezing and stuff. I hear Michael Jackson singing, "You Can't Win."
Michael.
Oh, Michael. Oh, you could probably get your stuff out the oven now.
Okay.
Oh, this is gonna make me mad. Okay. Today's mathematics. Let's talk about today's mathematics while electricity's going to catch up with me before I get upset. Because I don't have. So today's mathematics. Today is 6-11-1. So it's cool because we got the 61, 61-11, 61-1-1. We got the triple ones in there. So 11 is a day of mastery. This is mastering self so well, mastering your knowledge, your intellect, taking initiative, your leadership energy, all that fun stuff. Doing it so well, you become an inspiration to other people. So today also, while you're in your spiritual stuff, if you're in your self-mastery in this realm with the, you know, the lunar mansion we just went over and stuff like that, that you could, possibly attract other people on the same type time in the same space of self mastery that's going to mirror like where you're at, or they might be a little bit higher. It might not be the exact, like, say you like, you mastered numerology. It might be somebody who mastered throwing bones or doing the leaves or looking at wax or whatever, but on the same like same type time, same type level. And that's where we come into creating safe spaces and emotional safe spaces for one another. You may see spiritual people come out and try to create a safe space in these ones and zeros for themselves by being more transparent about something that they're experiencing, that they've been going through, because these last couple of weeks, the way the planets have been lined up, it has definitely been pulling on us, especially in the degrees of the Pisces constellation that Neptune and Saturn is. It has been pulling on us to deal with things. A lot of us have been having, I don't want to say like repetition of patterns, because it's not a repetition of pattern. It could just be you sitting in stillness and a thought arises, a memory arises, and it's re-invoking you again. And it does not mean that you didn't heal from that experience. It's just we're in a space where like we're re-experiencing old things, even if it's in our head. And we're going through the steps of why did that happen? How did that happen? How did I feel? Da, da, da. And so again, like I said, some spiritualists are going to come onto these platforms. They're going to be, transparent about something that happened to them that they were going through. And, they're kind of like, as it is, like a precautionary tale. Like, this whole time y'all thought I was smiling, laughing, da, da, da. This is what I was really dealing with. This was what I was really going through. And some people, still don't feel like they're healed from it because they feel invoked to speak on it. But it's important to speak on these things. Does not mean you're not healed. It is also, it's another space of closure. You know what I'm saying? It's another space of closure. And, healing does not mean pretend like certain things didn't exist, that it didn't make you feel some type of way or think some type of way. Healing from things does not mean that when you're in meditation or trying to be in stillness, that it's not going to pop back up and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? When you're healed from something, you're moving in a space where like that person come back around. I'm not going to be evoked to retaliate or to do certain things or to have a certain kind of space. Like it's not preventing me from interacting in society. It's not preventing me from getting things done. You know what I'm saying? It's not preventing my quality of life, the things that I have to do. My education background is in psychology, and so like using the DSM, a lot of the diagnosis y'all like to throw around all over social media, because now we have these social media plants telling everybody they are neurodivergent. I can't even say the word neurodivergent, or they have some type of psychological issue or a mental issue, this, that, and the third. However, one of the main components in the DSM to diagnose you with something is to say, is this interrupting what you're supposed to do in a daily life? And if so, on what scale? And that's where we get the spectrum from. Oh, I'm high functioning. I'm high functioning depression. I'm high functioning. Now all of a sudden everybody just high functioning. And that's cool. Like, in a society that's sick, it's easier to make it seem like we're the sick ones than saying, hey, it's the society and we're trying to survive in it and we're coping. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I don't really flow into all of that psychological neurodivergent stuff, because that's actually where my career and my education history comes from. And I just feel like it's thrown around very irresponsibly on these ones and zeros. And we can see more of that being pushed as well. I ain't gonna hold you, can, because Gemini, we have a lot of transformations happening in our air placements, and air deals with intellect and thought, psychology, mental health, mental, capacity and things like that. We are in men's mental health month during Gemini season. And, the Gemini twins were two men, that had two different mental states, that were in two different states. That's where we get that sense of duality from. So in that space and places of things, just be, mindful of the stuff y'all flowing into, you're going to self-diagnose yourself. I really want to speak that into existence on these ones and zeros, especially with Pluto and Aquarius constellation, in Aquarius zodiac, because when Pluto gets the Aquarius constellation, it'll start solidifying, like, remember when you posted this, remember when you posted that. Now there's repercussions for you keep claiming and calling yourself things and labeling yourself things. Y'all got to be aware. It's not to say that you're incorrect with your quirkiness, with the things about you and stuff like that. You are gaining your awareness of self. I'm not taking that away from you. What I am saying is be mindful of the spells you speak over yourself. We know how this healthcare system works, and that includes mental health. They go in the same category as the rest of the branches of the healthcare system. So be mindful of that. Where was I going with that? I don't know. I was just waiting for this thing to load so I can go on about my business. It's irritate my spirit a little
I
bit.
really like your opinion on that. I agree.
You agree with that? Thank you. That's how I be. You know, that's how you diagnose yourself with something. You, if it's really like hindering you from interacting in society and doing the things for your survival, then let's have a conversation. But if it's not, and it's just like these are emotions that you feel, thoughts running through your head, I won't say it's not that deep, but you know, those are more so personality traits. Y'all gotta know the difference between personality traits and then just outright diagnosing yourself with stuff. Some of y'all just got crazy personality traits, and that's perfectly fine. Um, yeah, but I was getting into that as far as like talking to y'all about people creating safe spaces with themselves on social media, especially with Pluto over there in Aquarius zodiac, you know, providing transformations in these ones and zeros. Aquarius rules over electronic communication, society, and friendships, and Pluto is revealing things, you know, so people you friends with, people you create, you know, relationships with, which we do a lot on these ones and zeros, you know, is empowerment happening there, is revelations happening there, occultism is happening heavily on social media, where everybody got their groups, and you know, I got the homesteading group, and I got the spiritual group over here, and we got the left-handed group over here, and we got, so like a lot of that is happening. That's also Pluto. Death and rebirth also happening heavily here, and like I was saying, like Pluto is still in the Capricorn constellation, so transformations are also happening in our places of authority, which we see with this government, with the Federal Reserve, with the IRS, with the education system, with the states being redistricted. Just all these different things is calling for Pluto to provide transformations to our infrastructure. Pluto is a heavy and can be very dramatic when you get into the stories of Oya, you know, and the dramatic storms and those, you know, crazy heavy changes and stuff that happens. And so with that being said, we can't expect these transformations to be lighthearted or just a slap on the wrist or, oh, it's a good time here. It's not going to be like that, because we're talking about Pluto here, okay? We're talking about storms. We're talking about building and destruction, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about revealing secrets, and we see a lot of that happening. You know, you guys have been screaming from the top of your lungs, give me the records, give me this, give me that, give me the files. You know, going on FBI.gov is very busy, you know what I'm saying? You know, start coming to certain realizations and having good conversations with, you know, members of society. Also Pluto on the ones and zeros. Also, I mean, not Pluto, also Aquarius on the ones and zero, also Aquarius, and sharing knowledge, also Aquarius. As Aquarius rules over Ketters, you know, when we get into the Sephira, or all stars, we get into the Netter. Depends on which one you like to use. There's no wrong one. Everybody has their own thing. And then we also have, you know, and that's real heavy in that air placement. And then we have Uranus happening over there in Gemini, providing progressive pushes in a smaller scale. So while Aquarius deals with society, Gemini more so deals with communities, relatives, friendships, people you grew up with, tri-state area type, you know, situations, things like that. Okay. And we have Uranus providing progressive pushes there. So we got transformations happening in society and friendships. And then when we come to, you know, siblings and relatives and stuff like that. Hey, Nahid. I think I pronounced it right. My apologies if I didn't. Hey, Abdullah. We also have, you know, progressive pushes happening in our community. So with that being said, I never advise, and I've been talking about this for years, especially when Uranus had first entered Taurus and I started doing my premonitions for Uranus entering Gemini. I've been telling you guys, you know, don't wait until you guys are backed up in a corner and you don't have a choice to finally come out of that isolation stuff. You gotta know that while we've been using social media for our reasons and spreading light and enlightenment and doing our version of Pluto and Aquarius, there's other equal opposite energies that are also doing their version of Pluto and Aquarius, their version of Uranus and Gemini. And we know that. We see all these robot accounts Who do you think is ruling all these robot accounts? I actually read something somewhere and I want to, fact check it at some point in time, but it's kind of hard to fact check things now because Uranus and Gemini has turned into AI just being all over in everything, and it's all giving you the same answers, whether it's right or wrong. So it's becoming more and more difficult to research things. Gemini deals with intellect. Progressive pushes in our intellect. You guys are going to get pushed to start reading some books. Start, really rolling up your sleeves and putting effort into your intellect. Putting effort into community and communicating. Please always see y'all back is up against the wall. I hate when people do that when they're like, I don't want to say hate, but I really sometimes I get triggered when people do that, but then I also like the word trigger reminds me that it's also an element in myself. I wait till my back is up against the wall to be like, all right, y'all, I need help. But we shouldn't wait till last minute to come together as a community. You know what I'm saying? We should be able to like hop on it, and it's like we already know what to do. Pull y'all kids out of these education systems. Progressive pushes is happening there. You guys are going to start seeing more and more things happening in the schools. You already know they be doing the pew-pews in the schools, but like I was saying, I was seeing like one Gemini season a few years back, was coming out that the PDFs were in the school system, and it was a whole PDF conglomerate thing from North Jersey all the way to South Jersey, police and judges included in it. You know what I'm saying? It was like a whole thing, and it was all teachers. It was very gross. They had their own movies and stuff. It was crazy. And, and that was all, I believe that came out during Gemini season. That was a Gemini season event. And so, yeah, you'll see things like that happening to kind of push people to like second guess the education system and what they've been doing about education. Same thing with community. People are going to start getting pushed to start going to these city council meetings, build with their community, grow your own food, you already know, grow your own medicine. Everybody has a place. And I think that's where a lot of burnout comes for you guys that are, addicted to isolation, is you convince yourself you're supposed to be doing everything by yourself instead of outsourcing, which is crazy because all of these examples we see of very successful, protected people that do evil have a whole conglomerate behind them and have had a whole conglomerate behind them for generations upon generations. And that's how we make things happen. So I don't understand how we could look at those things. Also look at our own personal ancestors, see how they did everything in the community, and then sit on these ones and zeros and get convinced to do everything in isolation. As a business owner, I have to wear all these hats instead of having a community, and conglomerate with me to assist me, and we all be equally successful. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, why is that clicking in your head that you're supposed to do all of that for your business, or that you're supposed to do all of that for your children, or that you're even supposed to do all of that for yourself? You know what I'm saying? There's people that just come over, cook me food every now and then because I'm burnt out, or clean my house, or do my makeup, or give me a reading, or let me get a massage, or teach me something new. Like, you're not supposed to be in this level of isolation that we've been allowing social media to convince us. Isolation and mental health issues that keep coming up. It's all social engineering to convince you guys to behave and think and have a certain level of awareness. So the whole point of learning about these things is so you can learn to rise above it, right? Learn to rise above the people that are under the guise of the stars, and also rise above the stars, right? So we're going to rise above Uranus and Gemini. We're going to rise above Pluto over there in Aquarius. Yeah, we are. I know that the fuck, right? And then Libra's kind of like cool, calm, and collected right now. I think Libra is chilling at this moment. Let me see. I know my Libras aren't chilling, but I feel like Libra is cool, calm, and collected. So the new moon will be on, bear with me, y'all, because I have a lot of Virgo placements. I have a lot of Mercury placements. My Sun, Moon, Mercury and Venus all in Virgo, Mars in Gemini, Vesta in Gemini. So when Mercury's about to go in retrograde, you want to know who get hit real hard with the shadow? Yeah, girl. Okay? The tech don't be teching. The tech don't be teching. I be getting hit. I be over here fighting for my life, y'all. I am not going to lie to you. Because I'm not falling under these motherfucking stars. I might I started being on my own little demon time where, like, you know, when retrogrades happen, I would like, you know, men come back into my life and stuff like that. But now I'm the one, you know what I'm saying? Like, which dude I want to wreak havoc on for the next, you know, 21 days? You know what I'm saying? Who about to get a little bit of sunshine? So now I'm the one rolling around doing intentional pop ups. I rose above the stars. Dude, I want. So at the point, by the time we get to the new moon, the sun and moon will both be in Taurus on the tropical and on the Vedic chart. So tropically speaking, we'll be at 29 degrees with the sun. We'll be at 26 degrees with the moon between the fourth and the fifth house, which is cool because that's the mother and the father. We're actually gonna have we're gonna have the sun in the fifth house, which is Leo energy. So the sun's gonna be in his home house. The moon will be in his home house in the fourth house. So, you know, heavy on the emotions, heavy on the having that balance between masculine and feminine. You know, if you guys turn around and do your seances, circle time, whatever, I would advise, you know, instead of having an all girls or all guys, try to find some level of balance, you know, or even if you do have all girls or all guys, you know, create some balance within between the feminine and the masculine energy, between the mother and the father energy, because, you know, the sun and moon is definitely like in alignment with that, especially on our level of prioritization there with Taurus, okay? So it's gonna be on Taurus and the tropical and on the Vedic chart at this point in the game. And I was looking at Lilith. No, I was looking at Libra because I wanted to know who was over there. Who all over there? Well, I have nothing on Libra. We don't even have a Libra house right now. Scorpio got the 10th house and the 11th house. So my Scorpios, y'all making big business moves. My Taurus is right on opposition in the 4th and 5th house of belonging and creativity. So if you use that Taurus energy for nurturing and being creative at the same time, being an inner child, doing things for the children too, you know, success is right on the other side with the MC and the 11th house. 11th house is society, a place in society, right? No.
Does MC mean like
Yeah.
controller?
No, MC is midheaven. I forget what the C is for. What's the C for? Everybody got a C in it. Because you got MC, AC, IC, and DC gone.
Controller?
Maybe controller. Let's go with it. We'll go with it for now until I take the time out to look it up again. I got it in my notes somewhere. I just don't have it on top of my head because I don't think about it. I think it's like coeoli or something like that. Medium COELI or something like that. I see the word in my head or something. But yeah, so that's what we have there as far as the houses and things go. Also in this new moon energy, let's talk about what the planets are doing up until the new moon a little bit, because y'all know I'm about to get back into my flow of doing a daily mathematics. So we have the equation today, like I said, on the 13th, well, no, the 11th. Today's the 11th. I'm getting ahead of myself. We don't have too much happening in the cosmos. It's pretty quiet in the cosmos. We're gonna relax because we had a triangle the day before, so y'all should be starting to swim in the residuals of your triangle. Then we get to Friday the 12th, 6/12, which was what, 6/3/1. So we get the 3/6/9 until we get to the 10. Friday is really good for the mathematics. I ain't gonna hold you. And then that's a Venusian day too. So y'all could do that. Y'all could do, you know, alchemize a lot with those numbers on Friday. Especially for my manifestors, manifesting gang in the back. Moon and Mars will also be in minimal angle on Friday. So we have nurturing to our solar plexus chakra, our motivation, what gets us going, what triggers us, things like that. We also have the comet being at max brightness in the Sagittarius constellation, giving us all the ancient materials over there. And then also the equation of time, which is the sundial time minus the watch time, is going to equal 0. So the sun is going to be transiting at 12:59 p.m. And they be like, oh yeah, the sundial time is correct. But like, bro, that means the watch time is correct, not the sundial time. Like, get out your ego, you'll be all right. And then on Saturday, we have 6/13. So that would be 6/4/1. That's gonna be our day of 2, right? So here we have The moon and Mars is still going to be in alignment, so we're still going to be nurturing and being emotional with our solar plexus chakra. Be mindful of people who have issues with being in control of themselves, other people, situations, ideas, because they will be very emotional about their sense of control. Okay, so the moon and Mars in conjunction is always kind of like a time I gonna lose that shit today. I see it. You know what I'm saying? But it also can be very empowering, for those of you guys who, have mastered rising above the stars. The moon and Uranus will also be in minimal angle, so the moon will actually be traveling through the Taurus constellation and also aligning with Pleiades, the seven wounded sisters. The Pleiades little star cluster in the Taurus constellation deals with how we deal with our wounds, how we deal with our sorrows, how are we carrying them, how do we heal them, how are they being healed in our heart. Taurus is fixed earth and deals with the calluses in our heart, how fixed our heart becomes on things, because I can change your mind, I could move your mind around. Your mind is swords. That's air. That's everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I can't contain it. I can't control it, but I could put some messages in it. You know what I'm saying? But Taurus, your heart is like the hardest thing to kind of manipulate. I'm not gonna hold you, because as much as we know things, we'll feel something different. It's just our mind will try to trick our feelings out of, oh, no, nah, it's nothing. Oh, no, you tripping. Oh, no, it's not that big. It's not that deep. It's not this, that. That's our mind being manipulated by the messages and trying to send those signals to our heart. But our heart is already like, nah, this don't feel right. Nah, I don't feel like this not. I'm not about to prioritize this. I'm just going through the motion. I'm just doing what I gotta do. And that's the mind and the heart connect. I'm saying. So all that to say, moon is nurturing those wounds, how you transmute those wounds, how you've been holding on to them, how you've been feeling them, all those things like that. That's what the moon is going to do with Pleiades over there in Taurus. Then we have the moon and Uranus over there in conjunction on Saturday as well. So we'll have moon traveling through the Taurus constellation, nurturing our heart chakra, what we value and what we prioritize, what we fixated on, what we give value to, our self-esteem, different facets of love, how we express them, how we obtain them and maintain them, that balance between our emotions and what we have, and the moral codes that tie all into that. If your moral code is off, most likely that Taurus energy is off, that heart chakra is off. They all go one and the same. You want to go back up to your Mercury, your mindset. That's why Mercury and Venus are so close, because that mind will trick that heart out of something. Or the heart, which, the heart wants what the heart wants, and the mind be like, bro, we can't do this, we can't go there, we can't do this, we can't do this. I've been trained to think this way. And the heart's like, I want what I want, bro. What's up? I'm not changing my mind. So be mindful of that. I know when I, do my meditations, I'm like, please guide my mind, my heart, and my gut to be in alignment with my hands and my feet. You hear me? Make sure mom's in, and make sure it's all in tune with the wheel. With the wheel and the will. So we got a nice little triangle of creation to nurture your heart chakra in those spaces and those progressive pushes happening. Because like I say, even though Uranus is over there and Gemini zodiac, it's still in Taurus constellation. So Moon and Taurus being together is not a big deal. It's okay. So now we have made it up to the 14th. By the time we get to the 14th, we're gonna have the Moon and Aldebaran together. Yeah, I'm not really feeling this laptop. This what you be dealing with? I had to use my son laptop because my joint was like that.
He is very smart, so he probably found out a way to avoid one.
This drives me nuts. I don't like this. It's slow. It's slow. It's glitching.
You should probably call him.
No, it's too late. He's asleep. He got class in the morning. It's not that deep. I'm making it work. I'm making it work. Huh? Tell him. What are you gonna do? Beat my ass? I think not. I wonder if this is because he's using DuckDuckGo. Is this how DuckDuckGo moves?
What even is that?
It's a search engine. Because, he's big on evading AI. So he doesn't use Google or nothing. He be using DuckDuckGo.
Can, yeah,
Hmm?
yeah.
Yeah. I can't. I'm working on my patience. It's working on my patience.
I haven't had any patience since I was born, Robert.
Sheesh. Okay, so come Saturday, Sunday, because by the time we get to 6:14, the new moon is on a Sunday. We love it here. That new moon is gonna be at 9:55 p.m. CST, and that's when the moon is between the sun and the earth, so it's invisible, right? The moon will also be the smallest distance to the earth, which is called a perigee. So we have the moon. It's gonna be like a macro new moon, which is cool, like a super new moon. That's cool. The last new moon we had was a micro. So I don't understand why they kept saying, oh, that no, it was the full moon that was a micro, I believe. So now we're at macro. And we have the moon and Aldebaran together, which is, this is the star in the Taurus constellation. It's like near Hyades where the horns are. So you have the Lunar Sisters and then you have Aldebaran. Um, it's like the follower star or whatever. Come on, I have it in my notes too, but I just come on, bro, entertain me. I don't know. Oh well, I'm trying my best, y'all. I can't believe this is irritating me like this. Why are you like this? I'm trying to be patient. I'm so patient right now, can't you tell? I just want my laptop back for real, bro. I don't like using other people's stuff.
I don't know.
I feel like
He has like a whole system going on. He has to set up like 12 things when he turns on his laptop.
I probably got a better chance just using my phone.
I just made the person with the most fitting name extremely angry at me.
He be alright.
This dude named Timmy6. Timmy. I made him mad because in game.
Hold on, I'm gonna just do it on my phone because I'm not gonna do this get on my nerves.
And now he just doesn't like me anymore. It's so funny. His name is Timmy, and he's most likely 6.
Oh, that's crazy. That's so silly. Okay, so when we deal with the moon and Aldebaran being connected, um, Aldebaran is kind of like a cocktail kind of star, so it has the energy of a multitude of planets like Mars, Mercury, and Pluto or Jupiter, and it's more so like being valiant, like that militant energy of intellect, wisdom, and motivation, like execution. So it's one thing to just know the things that you know, but during this space, it's time to come up with execution. You know, be driven to execute. I know we had Aries season already. At this point, we are, you know, closing out our first quarter of the new year, opening up the second quarter if you utilize Aries as your new year. And otherwise, we're at halftime. If you guys use the Gregorian calendar, it's really your world. If you guys use the Ethiopian calendar or Jewish calendar, where the New Year's is in September, like I do, you're in your last quarter. So now we're doing last quarter, roundup of the things. And it's not just about, like I said, it's not just about having the intellect or the wisdom. It's also about execution. And we're going to, deal with Pallades first and our wounds and things like that. And then we're going to go beyond and, think about how we execute what we wish to design, because Venus helps us design what we desire. So now, like I said, we have the moon at 9:55 p.m. The moon will be at 26 degrees Taurus. Yeah, 26 degrees Taurus. So let me see how long it takes me to find that lunar mansion. I jumbled up papers that need to be organized. Aquarius over here. We're at Sagittarius. Virgo. What I say? 26 degrees. Alright. So we're like in the fifth. Well, we can use the Vedic. If we use the Vedic, it's 24 degrees is the Ayana Masa. So it would be the moon being at 2 degrees Taurus on the Vedic chart. So it would be in the Kritika Nakshatra. All right, and that goes till 10 degrees Taurus. So we'll go from Kritika to Rohini. And that's the third lunar mansion. And the third lunar mansion deals with cutting through illusions, purity, sharpness, precision, the fire god, healing, purification, and personal transformation. When the moon is here, emotions are intensified. There may be a strong need for clarity and decisiveness. So again, like, how are we executing things? I know you got a plan, you got a goal, you got a vision, you got, all the pretty designing things we designed all Taurus season. Now it's execution time. And sometimes we have to cut through our emotional selves to get to the execution. We have to cut through the smoke and mirrors. Some of those emotions were, tied down or anchored down by some thoughts, some trauma, some events that no longer apply. So we don't have to keep replaying them in the way that we do. So you'll find a desire to want to cut through all of that come Sunday with this alignment. And we talked about taking charge of your feelings, healing, transformations, release old problems, cut ties with negative attachments. See, I know what I'm talking about. Sometimes I just gotta look at my notes though. Emotional healing, all of that is important. And then when we get into Rohini, we're focused on emotional nourishment, creativity, and growth, manifesting our desires. So, the new moon, depends. Some of you guys go by the full moon. I personally go by new moon because when it's completely, I was born on a new moon, like a lunar, forget when it's called a lunar solar eclipse. Please forgive me. But I was born in that kind of space and time. So, like, new moon is a new month for me. Versus the full moon. For somebody else, it might be different. Like, I also get my menstrual cycle during the new moon. This past month, I was getting on the new moon and the full moon, and we just so happened to have a blue moon, so I was feeling some type of way. But hopefully we back, we back to the regular schmegular program, and the new moon is like, hey, I'm here, you here, we here, you know what I'm saying? And so that's that. But, it's supposed to be the beginning of a new cycle. You start getting into your waxing, and we start building ourselves back up. So, kudos to y'all, we made another one. Now we're going to manifest these desires, and during the whole waxing phase, we're going to be building ourselves up towards that. But that requires some type of emotional, discipline. You know what I'm saying? Don't let your emotions talk you out of it. So hopefully you guys do the work that y'all have to do while the moon is near Pallades and the wounds and the seven sisters and also near Aldebaran, so that y'all can really fully take on this new moon and take action without all the emotional attachment, the past traumas, all the time somebody told you wasn't good enough, you couldn't do it, all the hindrances and all that stuff. Feel empowered by your testimony, not a victim. You know what I'm saying? We're not supposed to be victimized by our testimony. The testimony is there to tell others, to inspire others during times where they feel like they can't do it no more. They could be like, you know what, I remember that one time it was somebody out there, they had no arms, no legs, and their forehead was 5 feet tall, and the doctors told them they wasn't gonna make it, and guess what, they made it. You know what I'm saying? I remember that testimony. So how dare I sit here in my space, things don't seem that bad for me, in my reality. I can do too, and you never know who's watching. It's a lot of secretive watchers, especially with social media has allowed for a lot of hermits people to be watchers, and also creepers. But you know what I'm saying? But they're watching, and they're also being inspired. So you never know who's watching you. Be transparent, be vulnerable, express these different things that you're going through during your journey, but still go through your journey anyway. You know what I'm saying? That's really powerful. So, keep that in mind when you guys are doing the things you're doing and you feel like it's not enough or it's not good enough. It's not, glamorous enough. Don't fall for the hype on the social media. It's a lot of bot accounts out here, and you might think they're real and they look like real people, and they could be operated by real people. It's not necessarily AI, because I know you could say like the fingers is messed up. Da, da, da. No, it's a bot account like really ran by a person. You know what I'm saying? But they just creating scenarios and doing different things that make things seem a certain kind of way that it's not. But it's invoking you. It's influencing you. It's showing it's triggering a sense of insecurity in you, to where like now you feel invoked to be like, well, that's not what I want. Why do you want that? Why is that what you go for? Blah, da, 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 da. I don't have enough. What's wrong with me? I need to aspire to have what you have. Maybe I should, blah, blah. But remember, this is all to sell. It's all to sell. All to sell. It always has been to sell. It's the marketplace. I had seen somebody say some real shit earlier. Like, I don't know what your heritages are, folks watching. However, over here in Americas, people used to come, we used to actually trade, go back for a trade. Now it's people come over here and set up their businesses, set up their shops, and now we are just consumers. It's not too much trading anymore, give and take. And now it's just like, oh, we're just gonna come over here and set up our stuff. Y'all, give us all our bells and whistles, and y'all consume, and y'all not getting too much back out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not pouring back into our communities. They're not fighting for us when things happen to us and on our own soil. Like, those things, it's not a give and take relationship anymore. And it's up to us to be in our solar plexus chakra, especially during the year of the horse. And, we're in the year of one, and all these different things is happening all at once. This is a great time for us to get back into our confidence and our courageousness. Let Uranus and Gemini do its thing. Let Pluto and Aquarius do their thing, and really, empower ourselves and our community and our society again. And, say enough's enough. Allow those transformations in Capricorn to happen, because they're happening as a result of what, no energy is created or destroyed. So I would like to say that we are our ancestors. We may be in a different physical, meat suit, but energetically speaking, we are our ancestors. So, whatever ancestors we had that were tortured and killed in front of the villagers because they were the strongest and the smartest or the most magical, or the most resistant, whatever, they're obviously back on Earth, and we call them YNs because I don't know what's wrong with us. I don't know what's going on, but these are the ones, you know what I'm saying? And we kept, we wanted them back, and they're back, and we have to learn how to redirect that energy. Same thing with our young women. We wanted our sorceress back. We wanted our tough women back. We wanted those strong, Amazonian women, that were a part of the matriarchy, that were, worthy of being the person that would tell the warriors when to fight, when to, relax and all that stuff like that. They're back, and now, we're dragging them. And that's because we have these ancient energies in the society that is keeping us sick. It's not, we are not utilizing our full potential of or we're not doing what we're supposed to do with these energies that we have reincarnated within us. And, over time we'll get better at it. I have faith, you know what I'm saying? I don't have no reason to give up faith. I see all the reasons and all the times, why to have faith and those things. I don't know why we got here, but we did get here, and we're here. Y'all know I'm good for it, y'all. Y'all know I'm good for it. I don't know how we got here. We always be going somewhere. Y'all always go somewhere with me, don't y'all? So I'm gonna get into the wheel like I always do, and we're gonna do our readings, and it's gonna be a good time, right? At first, I was thinking about just splitting it up between the AC, IC, DC, MC, and I think that's how I'm gonna do it. So let's talk about the new moon, the placements during the new moon. Let's start with the AC. So AC is starting in Capricorn. AC is starting in the last 10 degrees, the last decade of Capricorn energy. Hold on, TikTok. I gotta do the little puzzle piece thing. Okay. So yes, and there's actually a triangle point. So we are going to have a triangle in the sky during the new moon as well. The triangle points will be in Capricorn, Pisces, and going up to Cancer energy. That's going to be like an isosceles triangle, the tall ones, opposite sides. And then we'll have somewhat of an equilateral triangle. We'll actually have two equilateral looking triangles, with the base being in Capricorn and Taurus, and the top being in Pisces. So we still have that Capricorn Pisces connectivity. And then the second equilateral triangle will have the base being from Pisces to Cancer, with the top being in Taurus. So heavy on the water and earth, in these triangles. Water and earth seem to be the main ingredients, whether we're going fixed. We have cardinal. Well, we even have a trapezoid. I don't know what people be doing with trapezoids, but if y'all like trapezoids, we got the base. We have Pluto going to be in opposition of Venus on that day. All right. So transformations to our heart chakra, what we value and what we prioritize, and then and that's Capricorn and Cancer. And then on one side we got Cancer going up to Taurus, hitting that Uranus energy, progressive pushes there in our heart chakra. And then we have the second side from Pluto up to Neptune, transformations going up to our dreams and our subconscious over there in Pisces constellation. And then, of course, at the top, we got Pisces going to Taurus. So heavy on the emotions, nervous system, your heart. If you guys have nervous system issues, and that's probably why I went on that whole tangent about mental health, because that is nervous system. Nervous system regulation is important. And that's where we get into, they playing on our tops because they got y'all convincing yourselves as individuals there's something wrong with you, you're sick, you have a mental illness, and some of you guys hide behind it. Some of you guys use it as a badge. Some of you guys are so intellectual, so capable and able, and I'm not talking about in this society, I'm talking about as a person on this plane that God brought us on. I'm not talking about this society and can you go to work and can you do 40-80 hours. I'm not talking about that at all, because and when it comes to mental health, I feel like that stuff should not be a factor. But believe it or not, that is the main factor in mental health. And I'm coming from my place of education when I say that. When you look at the paper and you're checking off the boxes of, can this person still go to school? Can this person still go to work? Can this person still function in society, doing all the things that we want a person in society to do? It has nothing to do with them at their natural state. And we live in a sick society that creates an environment where you can't just go to work, go home, and be fulfilled. You have to be fully engulfed in work. Work has to come before your kid. I even go on Indeed and look at job offer, and they're like, we're looking for somebody enthused, dynamic, someone not afraid to make our problems their problems, someone who's very passionate about our no, what the fuck? What? No, you know what I'm passionate about? I'm passionate about being a mother. I'm passionate about nature. I'm passionate about animals. I go outside and I see a tree shaped a certain kind of way. I get so fucking excited. I see some bugs and stuff. I'm watching them and stuff. National Geographic. That's what I get excited about. That's what I'm compassionate about. I make their problems my problems. I'm not finna go in fucking Carvana and make y'all problems my problems. I'm not going in to AT&T to make y'all problems my problems. I'm not going into Verizon to prioritize y'all over my home and my family, my kids, or the nature, nature that's here to provide us with an environment to survive in. I'm not going to do that. However, like I was saying, this society has convinced us to individualize our mental state. At one point in time, our mental state was a community thing. It was a village. It took a village to heal your mental state, not you just sitting in a room by yourself with a psychologist writing notes and stuff like that and stuff like that. It was never like that. It's not supposed to be like that. Healing is not an individual experience. And even then, you need some type of companionship because you're going to a therapist. And some of y'all don't even want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all sit in the room by yourself and y'all let social media convince you. You got to go inward. You got to be by yourself. You got to isolate, isolate, isolate. That makes no sense when we're looking at conglomerates of people doing things at at the level that we want to do it, at the success rate we want to do it, and they're doing it together. You know, yeah, you can still be an Indian chief amongst a collective of Indian chiefs. Like, nobody should be taking your crown off, and you shouldn't be taking somebody else's crown off to be cohesive. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you know, all that's to say that the mental health thing is going to be a very big thing between the water and earth energy, you know, the sensitivities, the nervous system, that connectivity between the mind and how the mind is trained and how the mind has been trained and educated versus how you feel, what you think versus how you feel. And it shouldn't even be versus. It shouldn't be what you think versus how you feel. They should coincide. I know a lot of music, and, you know, music conditions us because it's the same lyrics being played over and over again at a certain frequency on a certain, you know, vibration, and they played on the radio waves, which is another frequency in itself. So, you know, so it's a lot of music that's like, oh, mind is telling me no. But, you know, a lot of artists, you know, talk about that conflict of mind and heart, mind and heart, mind and heart, mind and heart. And it shouldn't be a conflict. They should be cohesive. If there's a conflict here, there's an issue. You know what I'm saying? And we have to correct it because it shouldn't be one versus the other. They should go together. If my mind is telling me I got to do this and my heart is saying no, then we need to have a conversation with the heart. What's going on? Maybe we should be redirected until the mind and heart are one. You know what I'm saying? Coming back into those things. And yes, when we do things like that, when we come into realizations like that, when we move like that, all of y'all are going to be mentally labeled, because it's not about your mental health. It's about your capacity to keep this economy going. And the further your capacity is from the expectation, that's where the diagnostics come in. Please don't fall under this hype, bro. This shit be making my blood boil so much. But, you know, I take a breath and I just let people just live. You know, that's y'all reality. You know, y'all want to live like that. Y'all want to hide behind those things. Go ahead. I prefer to empower myself. You know, I know certain things about me, certain quirks and, you know, things about me and stuff like that. You know, in the same breath, I'm not about to sit here and do all of that. I know how to move around my shit too, and that's what I teach. You know, without giving you guys those diagnoses, y'all know that's spelling. Those are spells that they put on you on them RX papers, right? R is 9, X is what, 6, 9 and 6. Bring you to 1 and 5, enforcing. So now we're putting a bind on your solar plexus chakra, right? Yeah, we are. And we're making it so. We're manifesting it so on the 6th. It's mathematics. It's mathematics. It's gematria. It's all of that on the prescription papers. And, you know, just be mindful. Just be careful. You know, just be careful. Signature. Signature is a sigil. Sig. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all gotta be careful. They write that shit in Latin for a reason. You know, it has a double meaning. It doesn't just mean what they telling you it mean. It gotta mean something else too. You know, so just be careful with these medical advisors. They're in a practice for a reason, because they're not legit. So they practice, and the things that they practicing is this. You know, is witchcraft. They're practicing witchcraft. Keep it a being with y'all. I don't think witchcraft should be demonized. I just think certain demons, you know, practice witchcraft, and they have their own motivations for doing so. So anyway, those are the triangles, the trapezoids. I ain't gonna hold y'all too much longer. We've been here for like an hour. I'm gonna give y'all readings and let y'all go on about y'all business. So let's go from the AC to DC line. We talked about the AC line started at Capricorn. The energy that we're giving off. How well structured are you? People are feeling each other's energy, right? Like, you're in a room full of people, you can feel everybody's energy. And by the looks of your energy, I can tell who your authority is, right? I can tell if you're an authority of yourself I can tell who your leader is. Is your leader, Trump? Is your leader, yourself? Is your leader, whatever religious figure, whatever, whatever. That's where the space is on the ascendant energy. There's also a sense of fortune here, as fortune is over there right after the ascendant line. So, for those of you guys in that last who had any type of celestial bodies in that last decan of Capricorn, could definitely feel that fortune very heavily. The more you are in your authenticity of your infrastructure. Challenges also come here. Challenges come here to bring you infrastructure, discipline. And then we have Aquarius right after. Aquarius is our fixed air sign, being revolutionary and unique. And we have the North Node sitting over there and Aquarius. I think it's cool because it's like me making this about myself right now. I'm gonna make this about myself right now. My North Node is in Aquarius, my South Node is in Leo, so my nodes are actually on locked. But we have Aquarius, we have the North Node, so spiritually speaking, we are moving towards revolution. And a lot of y'all speaking into existence, whatever revolution looks like for you. Some of you guys, revolution looks like y'all riding on horses at dawn, or riding in a boat across the river at dawn, or y'all setting stuff on fire at dawn. For some of you guys, revolution looks like y'all going out and throwing the seed bombs to plant trees. And for some of you guys, it's writing books and teaching. For some of you guys, it's creating your own schools. Congrats, Dr. Umar. Everybody's moving towards that revolution and society, and the electronic communication that Aquarius rules over, and friendships is big here too. A lot of people have been so isolated in their space. We have to learn how to be friends with one another again. And I ain't talking about no social media friendship. That shit sucks. That shit sucks, and it's too fucking easy. And it helps people hide more and more behind this fucking mental illness shit. Like, I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm not one of those people. I'm more of a, I want you to feel your feelings. I want to be a nurturer, and I am. In the same breath, I will also tell you to grow a pair, and just come on now. Know when somebody's playing on your top, stop falling into them traps because it's comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully you guys feel the vibes in Aquarius. It's like, don't fall into the traps because it's comfortable, because baby, they're going to make the traps more and more comfortable. Out of nowhere, it's going to be, oh, y'all want $3,000. You know what I'm saying? Out of nowhere, it's going to be, oh, y'all want to get exempt from this. Oh, shit. The people. We've been so worried about making sure our pockets fat, making sure we getting away with our illegal shit. We forgot about these niggas out here. You know what I'm saying? So now they're going to try to make things more and more comfortable. We doing freebies. We doing giveaways. All you got to do is sign this paper. And you think you just signing a contract saying I'm receiving this product or whatever, but you're signing a contract giving your consent to whatever else they got going on in alignment to you receiving that product or whatever. The Federal Reserve note is a product. It's a product that belongs to the company, the Federal Reserve. You know what I'm saying? So you got to know when people are playing on your top. The more you guys use these people's products, and y'all can say, oh, I get my freedom from being a business owner. I got my freedom. Okay, but you're still using the product of the oppressor, of the oppressive corporation, of one of the biggest oppressive corporations. Them niggas is global with the shits. You know what I'm saying? They ain't killing niggas. So you gotta be careful with that, because they will come around and try to make things comfortable for us to move backwards. This is not, I don't think we in a space anymore where it's bang bang shoot it up. Like I said, it's some of y'all that still think y'all supposed to go out there and be a vigilante, and we see that a lot on these screens. And also the fact that people are creating images on these screens to invoke y'all, to condition y'all that that's how everyone should be, that's how you should react to everything and stuff like that, is also going to bring that revolutionary energy as well. And you just be wherever you want to be on the spectrum of that. I'm not a very violent person. I will protect myself. I will get busy for my motherfucking kids. You hear me? My kids and my mother. I will get busy. But I'm not a violent person. I don't see myself as someone like, yeah, I'm about to go out there with all my, tools, and I'm on the front line. Like, that's not me. That's not my personality. That's not what I'm trying to manifest in my reality. That's not what I want for my sons. Like, we could be revolutionary in a different way. I be up here teaching and talking to y'all and providing edification. And I really want to gear a lot more of my energy to the youth, that are coming up in this world without those things. Because the adults are a little bit more well-versed to the point where They start to get disrespectful. Like, why y'all keep teaching? Why y'all keep teaching? Because y'all keep having kids. As long as y'all keep having kids and there's still people coming up into the world and coming up, teachers will never end. What are y'all talking about sometimes? Y'all just be chatting. Just be chatting. So, things like that. I'm also a gardener, teaching people how to, self-sustain themselves. So all that, I'm showing a level of transparency to let you guys know that there's different flavors of revolutionary. It's not just outright like we all fighting. Like, it doesn't have to be that way. Some of you guys have different things to do that's going to assist. Then we come into Pisces, and we talked about Pisces having Saturn and Neptune. We're on the Vedic chart, y'all, just in case y'all like, what the hell? And we know that Capricorn creates the infrastructure and the challenges, and a lot of that has been happening to Pisces and Neptune energy, which deals with deception. Deception, being manipulative, things of that nature. So we want to be mindful of that. We have some challenges coming to the Decepticons and all the deception that they're doing. We have, challenges coming to those who are gullible, and have been believing in the deception, because that's what Pluto represents, right? Both of the fishes, the fish that's being the manipulator and the fish that's being manipulated. So there's challenges coming to both of them to come to that middle line in the middle of the Pisces fish. Y'all need balance on what you control and what you allow control you. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what Saturn is there to do over there. That's happening in the second house. So it's going towards business and what we design, what we value, more so material things. So you guys see the illusions coming off of the material things, and you guys start wanting certain things less, maybe even a recall on some material things coming forward, creating challenges for certain businesses. Oh my God, I think all that just went mine. I heard. And then we get into the third house of Aries, new beginnings to our communities, our communication, like transportation. Like, I'm down here in Memphis right now. I see a lot happening with the buses, which is, can be Gemini. The community coming together, more people going to council meetings, people talking to their municipal courts more. That's Gemini. It's municipal, I think that all of that is really cool. Also, being more proactive in the schools. So I know that it's, graduation season right now. I'm from Jersey, so I know that graduation and school is still going, even though down south it's been done for we're about to go on a month now of summer vacation, and Jersey ain't even started yet. And so we have a lot of ended Mars things happening with that, with the graduations, people going into college, coming into their new beginnings, people going into the next grade, preparing themselves for that, things of that nature. We also have Chiron here, and we have Mars here. So we have Mars sitting in its home place, which is very interesting, in Aries. So for those of you guys who get angry, you guys, and Mars not going to be here too much longer. Mars actually at 25 degrees, like got a few more days after the new moon. And I'll get into that on the planetary forecast. So on the 14th, I'll be back to do the planetary forecast from new moon to new moon. I'm coming back, y'all. I'm coming back. But yeah, so we have Mars in its home space, definitely motivating. But some of y'all, especially some of y'all that have a lot of Aries placements or have Mars maybe in a fire sign or in an air sign, y'all feel it the most as far as being triggered, being motivated, but also being angry and responding to things very angrily. Be mindful of your ego, your solar plexus chakra, and why it's so sensitive, to be touched. It is in that 3 of Gemini of community and communication. So a lot of anger going there. There's also a lot of abrupt new beginnings going there too. So we may not always like how the new beginnings happen here. However, it's all in the stars, and at some point in time it'll work in our favor, right? So in this first section, we got houses 1, 2, and 3. We have the energy that we give off. We have the physical of what we value and prioritize, and then we have community. How we pouring it out into others. Okay, so those are our 3 houses, our 3 areas. And then we have Aquarius. We're going to be revolutionary here. We have Pisces. We're going to be in our sensitivities here. And then Aries. We're coming into our new beginnings, and we're going to be motivational, and we're going to move. And we're going there from the energy that we give off to our sense of belonging, okay? And like I was saying before, the planets that we have to deal with here are fortune, you know. So we're starting off this quadrant with, hey, you guys flow into this quadrant how y'all supposed to. Y'all gonna get what y'all need and what y'all desire real big. This is also where the direction we should be going towards spiritually as a collective, says North Node. Neptune says it's all in our dreams and our secrets. You know what I'm saying? This is not just something in the physical. This is also a spiritual experience. Saturn is like, you know, I got the infrastructure, I got the challenges that's gonna give y'all the strength that y'all need. I'm gonna help y'all out with y'all understanding. I'm gonna help all this stuff get rooted for y'all. You know, you deserve what you desire, but you need discipline to get there. You know what I'm saying? To get it. And then Aries is like, whenever I think of Aries, you know what I think of? Seth from WWE, when he like, burn it down. That's his theme song, burn it down. Yeah, I always think of Seth with Aries. But that's what's happening. Burn it down. New beginnings here, and they're abrupt, and they're not planned, and they're gonna divert you, and you have to, you know, be flexible here, which is why Aries is connected to the third house, because third house is all about being flexible and focused at the same time. So when Aries comes with those diverted plans towards, you know, Chiron and Mars, you know, third house knows how to like move in and out, move and shake. You're a problem solver here. You know, y'all need to start problem solving more. Leaders, problem solving more. And don't wait till a problem comes to have a solution. Some of y'all know what kind of society we live in, what we going through. What, you know, talk about that shit. We talking about shit. You know, because third house is in Aries, and we speak in new beginnings over ourselves. So for those of you guys who have Aquarius placements, you guys are, you know, finding y'all spiritual groups. You know, be mindful of the energy you're giving off. Pisces placements, y'all still in that space of, you know, finding that balance between structure and emotion. And your Aries placements, y'all dealing with y'all wounds and y'all anger right now, y'all triggers, and a lot of it is coming from your community. All right. So wisdom is the card for y'all, rhodiola. Okay. We're focusing on Uranus and Mercury here. We talked about Uranus being over in Taurus. Mercury is about to go in retrograde, but right now it's in Gemini. It's in one of its home babies of Gemini. And so we're providing progressive pushes in our daily routine, our habits, our wellness, our intellect. You know what I'm saying? Bringing it to that. Then we have the Chariot card here. You know, I like that we have the horse here. Then we have the Chariot card here. That's always a good time. Taking initiative, taking action. We also have the reverse Hermit. So it's time to get up out of your shell come this new year. We talked about that. I said new year, my bad. It's time to come out of your shell this new moon. Like I was saying, it's time to cut through the emotions. You know, cut through, utilize that Moon and Pleiades alignment, which will be on, I want to say it was Friday or Saturday. Let me see. It was Saturday. So that Saturday, you know, deal with Pleiades, deal with the wounds, deal with all those things you got to deal with, cut through it, and come out of that cocoon that you built around yourself with your trauma and stuff. Because it's time to let those things go come new moon. It's time to get it. It's time to get active. Right in time for the solstice. You know what I'm saying? We the sun people. Can't keep letting this. Like every year, these motherfuckers come up with some shit. You know, y'all go down the rabbit hole with the red summers, right? Go down the rabbit hole with the red summers. Y'all know we the sun people, and you know the summer solstice is about the sun. The sun is about to have its latest sunset. The sundial watch time is about to be correct a couple times. Like June is all about the sun, baby. So it's only right that it makes sense that people that don't like the sun, people that the sun is killing off, people that more so, you know, like to be in the darkness because that it's safe there in the dark and the cold. That's where they survive at. It's safe there. They'll create because they're into with witchcraft, but you're not allowed to be. Okay. They're in tune with their alchemists and but you're not allowed to be. And so they'll, you know, create these scenarios and things that invoke you around your season. They'll invoke you around your season. You ever seen somebody that try to piss you off every year for your birthday? Like, this is my birthday. This is my solar return when the planets align back up to where they were when I came out the womb, baby. Not It's not always exactly like that, but those moments where it's kind of almost exactly like that, y'all be feeling it. Everything go your way that day. Like shit just be like, bro, I feel brand new. I feel like this year is it. And whopped it up, and then you just got this hate on the side, like, bro. Every year for my birthday, here the fuck you come. Like, why you keep doing that on my birthday? It's like you trying to, like, I'm over here trying to say my wish on my cake and blow up my candles, and you sitting next to me trying to blow out my candles first. And y'all know what this is. Y'all know this is seance. So why you fucking up the seance? Ask yourself that question. Why every June? Why every June before the summer start? Here y'all come with y'all bullshit. And now instead of us focusing on as being sun people, nature, ourselves, being in the sun, the solar flares, all these different things that we could be focused on, cool, calm, and collected. Now we in the streets marching, making t-shirts and making signs and crying and screaming and going to jail and all these different things we doing now instead. They do it every year, bro. At some point in time, you gotta get hit to the shit and be like, all right, I'm off it. I'm off you. You know, I understand bad things happen every day, things that we don't want to happen every day and stuff like that. I get that, but if you keep making it about society and racism and all these different things, you keep allowing those rituals to happen. Like we're always gonna be stuck in the circle. It's always gonna be like the snake biting its tail. It's never gonna be like elevation happening out of that. So I'm not a fan of Groundhog Day. I don't want to keep doing the same shit over and over again. All right. Also for y'all, we got the Four of Swords. So finding stability and intellect. This is Jupiter and Leo. So balance on that Jupiter energy, which is about expansion and abundance. We're still in that wisdom energy, right? Joy, your sacral chakra. We want to find balance, law, justice, and truth there. And we're going to put it in our our chesed, which is our internal law, y'all. And it's all about growth in our heart chakra happening here as well. And caring mothers. I like that. This was a nice reading for y'all. And this one is for Aquarius, Pisces, and Aries. So now we're going to flow into Taurus, Gemini, and Cancer. That goes into the 4th, 5th, and 6th house. We start with the IC line. The IC line is our sense of belonging, you know, how we're being comforted and going inward. And we're making our way up to the DC line, which is the balance between how we put ourselves out there on the AC line and how society receives us on the MC line. Okay, DC line is the balance between the two. So well, actually DC line is a balance between the IC and the MC, because MC is how we receive, IC is how we're received, MC is, you know, our space of success, how we put ourselves out there. Anyway, let's get started. So Uranus is over there providing progressive pushes. We done talked about Uranus and Taurus through and through. Providing progressive pushes. Taurus deals with what we value and what prioritize our moral code to obtaining those things. You know what I'm saying? We also have the moon in Taurus, and we have the sun in Taurus as well, but the sun will be in the 5th house while the moon is in the 4th house. So it's like the houses are split. But all three of those placements are in Taurus energy. The sun and moon are more so in the last couple degrees of the 3rd decan of that degree, while Uranus is more so in the 1st decan at 8 degrees on the day of the new moon. So we're beginning with progressive changes, and Uranus is a very big planet. The changes are very big. We're also dealing with rebellious energy here as well. And it's all happening in the 4th house, our sense of belonging, our home and family, our nurturing energy, our mothers, that matriarchy, the matrilineal energy. So we need to find a balance between that masculine and feminine energy, y'all. Our inward and outward self. Everybody has masculine and feminine energy. Everybody. I don't care what meat suit you in, you know, what meat suit you choose. Find balance. Find balance. And I'm not talking about balance that society it says is acceptable. I'm saying find balance that's healthy, so where y'all not losing sight of reality to overcompensate in a certain degree. Like, you know how some people lose their mental health to overcompensate being masculine, whether you're in a man suit or a woman suit. Y'all know what that looks like. Same thing with feminine energy. Some people overcompensate in that feminine energy, whether they're in a man meat suit or a woman meat suit. We also know what that looks like. You could tell when somebody's imbalanced and knows wrong. So, you know, for those of you guys, just gain some self-awareness, realize you in your way, and just, you know, there's going to be progressive pushes. There's going to be conversations that you may not be emotionally capable of having because of this imbalance. And you'll see that as you are engaging in this conversation and you feel yourself boiling, you know, you feel certain things coming up, you know, that's going to happen. Then we get into Gemini. Gemini is all about community, communication, duality, the ability to be focused and flexible rather than fickle. If you find yourself fickle, overwhelmed, confused, with a bunch of tabs open, unfinished tasks, you are not utilizing your Gemini energy correctly. All right. So be mindful of that. So whatever you have in Gemini is going to be next to the sun at 29 degrees. 29 degrees is a very difficult degree. So that's the degree of mastery, finding balance in that wholeness of that sign. So this is kind of like getting that final test in Taurus on this day. Are you going to pass the test type shit? You know what I'm saying? So when we come into Gemini, Gemini is in the 5th house. We're in our creativity. We're in our inner child. It'll be very easy for y'all to flow into that, having a bunch of tabs open, unfinished projects, not following up with things because you're just like looking at the next shiny thing, the next bright thing, the next thing that looks like fun. So be mindful of doing things like that. Mercury is also here at a 24 degree. And again, like I was telling y'all in a week or so, Mercury will be going in retrograde in Gemini. So that'll affect our routine, our habits, and towards our 5th house, which is our creative self, how we do things there. So I like Mercury being in this home space of Gemini, because it helps us, Gemini is heavy on the thoughts, the intellectual self, and finding our sense of duality, and Mercury helps us put that duality into a routine. A lot of us like to hide certain parts of ourselves instead of embracing both sides because we worry about, what will everybody else think? Well, let the 5th house be your confidence and courageousness to not give a fuck, Then we get into, last but certainly not least, we have Cancer. It's the last energy we go to. That Cancer is in the 6th house. Home and family and nurturing should be a part of your daily routine, baby. 6th house deals with routine, health, wellness, daily routine, your moral and integral code, listen, speak, teach, learn. Y'all should be learning and speaking and teaching more about women, her story. Feminine energy is Men's Mental Health Month. Mental health is feminine. It's not physical. It's inside of you. So, that should be a part of your daily routine, is being tapped into that feminine energy, the nurturing self and nurturing others. We also have Jupiter and Venus over there in the Cancer constellation as well. Jupiter providing that expansion, abundance, joy. Some of y'all getting pregnant with Jupiter over there in Cancer with Venus. I ain't gonna hold y'all. Y'all gonna have a baby on Sunday. Congratulations. You love it there. You love it there. You're gonna be good. 6 is harvesting. 6 is manifesting. And it may not always be like I'm gonna get pregnant with a baby. I see pregnancy with projects, art, money opportunities, providing someone else with some sense of opportunity, stability. We're in Cancer, so we deal with homes, new homes here, something happening with an abundance in the housing, designing what we desire in the housing, definitely with Venus, what we value and prioritize here. So yeah, heavy there on the pregnancies. So definitely utilize this area from IC to DC line to get your manifestation on. You know what I'm saying? We got Taurus over there in the 4th house, deciding what we desire in our home and family. Uranus providing the progressive pushes that's needed to get us there. The moon and sun providing that masculine and feminine balance. Then we got Gemini, we got to talk about it. We got to be flexible, but we got to be focused on how we going to get it there. You know what I'm saying? And we're being creative about it with the 5th house and Mercury helping us with the intellect and problem solving there. Then we got Cancer, nurturing energy, but we have that expansion, that wisdom of Jupiter, and we also have the designer. So it's time for us, if you guys don't like your feminine energy, if you guys are not having a great mental health experience, you guys are not having a great emotional experience, a great spiritual experience, this is the time to heal that, meditate on it, sit on it on a daily basis. This ain't no one and done because it's a new moon. Nah, I need y'all, tapping in on the 6th house every day, learning about it, speaking on it, listening, teaching others what you know. We need the Montessori setup. If you know kindergarten level, then you should be teaching kindergarten while somebody's taking the time out to teach you 1st grade. You know what I'm saying? That's how it should be. So that's what I got for y'all from that IC to that DC line. Y'all going ahead and handle y'all pushes and designing and manifesting in this area. I like it there. I like it there. So we have stillness here in the skull cap, and then we have all the water planets. We got the Scorpius energy and all that stuff like that happening around it. We're focusing on Pluto, and I hate when they write these things in cursive because I'd be like, what the fuck? This is Pluto and Saturn. So transformations to your challenges, transformations to your strengths, and transformations to sometimes we miscalculate our challenges as traumas, and they really just meant to strengthen us while we're utilizing them to victimize us. So we want to be mindful of that in this realm of stillness. 4 and 7 come together and make 11. So there's self mastery and stillness. We have the reverse Ten of Swords card. So hold on a second, y'all. Nothing. We have the reverse Ten of Swords card, bringing things into a completion of what we thought things were going to be, how we thought things were going to be. I couldn't click it. It wouldn't pop up for me. It did. I fixed it. Just moving slow. So a lot of things that y'all, created in y'all head to prevent y'all from designing and stuff like that, it doesn't exist anymore. Wrap it up. Okay? We got the reverse star. Wrap that shit up. Y'all gotta learn how to trust. This was in reverse too, and I'm gonna leave it in reverse like this to just to show y'all everything over here is in reverse. These are all in reverse. Reverse, reverse. And I don't like that. Because you're telling yourself ahead of time, and this is for Taurus, Gemini, and Cancer with the 4th, 5th, 6th house placements. You guys are telling yourself that the meetings that you're going to have aren't going to be good enough. So you guys are talking yourself out of things that y'all should be doing. The vanity is lacking. Okay, we don't like vanity. Okay, maybe we don't like you guys thinking too much of yourself. But in the same breath, you should think something of yourself. On top of the fact that this deals with the throat chakra, which is Mercury energy, which is also 6th house. So we're lacking in the space of pumping yourself up, giving yourself the affirmations. You know what I'm saying? Like, helping your self-esteem. You're not doing it. I don't know why you're not doing it. But that's also Taurus energy is self-esteem. We're going to work on that too. Because that's probably why you think your meetings are going to be unfavored. Because you don't think you're good enough. You don't think you're supposed to be in these rooms. You're sabotaging yourself. Then we got the strength card in reverse too. Like, why? How did we get here? What the fuck is going on? I'm going to need y'all to get that together. Fix it. Okay? And you're going to fix it with the balance from Jabora to Chesed. So this is when you have your internal law, your internal blueprint. This is, my law, and you're going to enforce it in your space. A lot of us create an internal law for ourselves, or we go outward and we allow someone else's law to become our law, whether in religion, politics, government, society, community, classroom, whatever. A lot of us, we have a lot of external laws that we have to abide by. And, that puts us in a space where we feel like when we create our own internal law, that the first thing we have to do is enforce it upon others, because that's how we've been trained. You know what I'm saying? Everybody enforcing their laws on me. So now that I finally got an internal law, I'm about to enforce it on everybody else. You ain't spiritual enough. You ain't awoke enough. You ain't conscious enough. You ain't all this enough if you ain't following my internal law. Be mindful of that. That's the overactive ego. Your internal law applies to you and your space. Like me, I'm not a controlling person. I don't want to control nobody. I feel like I have learned to embrace so many facets of myself that anybody out there doing their own thing, I am judging you. I don't want to lie to you. I judge a little bit. Because I like to tell jokes in my head. That's where my judgment comes from. I made a joke about it. Okay? But in the same breath, like, it's not like me or you. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you're doing something that my internal law don't agree with, that doesn't give me the right to say, like, oh, yeah, what you're doing is wrong and bad and dumb and stupid. And no, that's what works for you and your journey. You're literally a fingerprint. You're a snowflake. Like, you are unique. That makes your journey unique. That means that your testimony of success is also unique. It's not going to look like mine. You know what I'm saying? Your internal law is not going to look like mine. The things that I want to follow and abide by, my boundaries and stuff like that, they're not going to look like yours. You know what I'm saying? And once you have that level of awareness and appreciation and acceptance, it'll help you flow into society and all the diversity a lot better, to where you now know a sound way to enforce your law. Enforcing your law does not mean control other people with your law. Enforcing your law means can't nobody come in your space and you start flexing on your boundaries just to have people around. Those two different conversations. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna work on that. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna create our internal law, create our boundaries, and we're going to learn a healthy way of enforcing them in our space so we can stop walking around like this, because I don't know why we're doing this neither. You guys aren't trusting the universe. That was also in reverse. You're not trusting in the universe. You're not doing the rituals. You're not doing the process. You're not doing, I don't know who watching it, but you ain't doing nothing, man. Then we got the reverse tense. So we like walking around with the traumas and the woe it's me and woo wop. And we all started with the stillness card. I just want you to be in stillness and be in self-mastery. On the 4 and 7, 4 is that celestial law, 7 is designing. With Pluto providing transformation to our Saturn, our traumas, transmute those traumas into strengths, to lessons of strength, to challenges, you know what I'm saying? So that's what we have there. It all starts with transmuting through stillness. You can transmute all this energy. And again, that's the reading for my Taurians, Geminis, and Cancers. That's what I got for y'all. So now we're going to move on up.
Wait, are they still all reverses?
I was telling, they're all in reverse, but I was telling everybody how to unreverse them. That's how you can unreverse your Taurus energy. You gotta have a discipline and an order about yourself, and you have to work on your strength. That strength card is your confidence and your creativity. Yeah, you gotta pump yourself up. You're over there sabotaging, buddy. All right, so the next part, we're going to go from our DC line to our MC line. So now we're coming from our balance between, interpersonal relationships, bonds, and contracts, to how we exert ourselves, our successful self. You know what I'm saying? Now again, our material self. So we have Leo, Virgo, and Libra. Now while the sun is at the bottom, this is where we just got out of the quadrant where the sun is at, right? Yes. Between Taurus, and then it'll flow into Gemini and Cancer. So that's where the sun is. And while the sun is there, okay, we didn't get to the Earth quadrant yet. I was about to speak too soon. We're not in the Earth quadrant yet. But yeah, we're in Leo, Virgo, and Libra in this space here. So 7th house, 8th house, 9th house. So wherever those placements are, here you go, okay? We have the South Node in Leo right now. This is our comfort zone. Our comfort zone has come from our creativity, our inner child. Everybody's comfortable in their inner child. Some of y'all not, though. But it's okay. We're going to work on that because I've seen that reverse strength card. We're going to fix that, right? But our South Node is our comfort zone with our creativity, with our romance, Like I said, our North Node is in Aquarius. It's about being more revolutionary, more about the we. So we're moving from me. Leo is me, 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 me. I'm the sun. Everybody evolves around me. And then Aquarius is like, it's society, it's friendships, it's connectivity. It's about being revolutionary. It's about the we. So it's how you go from me to we. Now, don't get it twisted. Aquarius is not a melting pot. Aquarius is a salad. So we're not trying to tell you that in order to be a part of the we, you have to give up to me. No, you don't. Let certain people who have unbalanced solar plexus chakras that want to convince you to follow their law and order. And hopefully at this point in time, you guys will be able to smell the energy and react accordingly, because there's far too many nature boys out here. Far too many. It's crazy because I would rather be at a table of leaders than a bunch of people following me doing whatever I say. That sounds so boring. I want to be around people that's going to tell me no and actually add to my thoughts. Not people that's just like sitting there waiting for me to think something new. Like, bro, this is lame. Shit, my kids challenge me. My kids don't even act like that. Anyway, back to the subject at hand. We're moving from the me to the we. And this is not to give up the me. The whole point of getting to the we is to learn how to be an individual, to be unique amongst the collective. We are unique and united. Be your me. Be your creative self. Be about you. Leos are self-centered and they evolve around self and everything revolves on me. Be like that. Be like that with society. Be like that amongst the society. If everybody is like that, if everybody's in their confidence and their courageousness and their creativity and their inner child and their wanderlust and their trusting, and we're here to have a good time and we're being romance, and I don't want to get to vanity, because once we get to vanity, we get to overactivity. You know what I'm saying? Being vain is a sin, but we are at a good level on the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? Of vanity. You know, to where like everybody can move around each other and not feel jealousy, not feel comparison and all that stuff, because everybody's confident and we're doing that as a unit. You know, we're utilizing all our spaces as a unit instead of the comparison and the competitiveness and all that stuff. We don't want to do that. All right. And that's happening in the seventh house. So, you know, all that is the balance and justice and duality. Being in your truth, where your creativity is important here, especially because we have all these, you know, again, more deception, more people lying, more, you know, oh, I made this. No, damn well you ain't make that. You copy and paste. We got a lot of copy and pasting people, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of different tools that are being created to make it easier for people who are not original to copy and paste. And hopefully we're, you know, pointing those things out. Then we get into Virgo energy. Y'all know Virgo is all about health, wellness, daily routine, moral and integral code. Our gut health is with Virgo. Our intellect is with Virgo. All that fun stuff, and that's in the eighth house. So transformations is happening in all of that. Our vortex is also there. So what we attract is based on our ability to transform. Also in this space of time, eight also deals with revelation of secrets. You know what I'm saying? So different things, occultic things that have been occurring in the education system, and you know, teachers amongst teachers, intellectuals that share trust and believe that eighth house Virgo vertex combo, it's going to reveal some shit about somebody that we had put in that position of being an intellectual, of being a teacher, you know. And also it also opens up a portal or a space for those of you who want to get into teaching or to be that intellectual, to be in that power seat, you know. So as you know, transformations happening there above and below and stuff like that. It's fun there. You know what I'm saying? It's fun. Then we also have the ninth house on Libra. We don't have any celestial bodies here. Like I told y'all, we don't even got a house here. The house starts, Virgo has the ninth house and Leo has the eighth house. There is no Libra house on the new moon, right? And so here we have, you know, expansion, abundance, joy on the Lilith energy. That's actually pretty fun. My Libras, y'all might want to utilize other placements that have celestial bodies for balance, because Libra is air. It's not like it's an earth sign or anything. It's air, it's open, it's not containable. And Sagittarius is fire, so there can be an easy imbalance happening here in your sensual self and your romantic self, as Libra deals with Venusian energy, and the ninth house deals with the sacral chakra, which is sex, sensual stuff. So be mindful of being overbalanced there. This whatever other indulgences that feel good, you know, just be careful there. You know, seek grounding somewhere else, help you out. And if you can do all that, you come to the space of success. So my Leos, y'all feeling that, not necessarily y'all feeling yourselves being more of the groundwork, the framework of things being in the South Node. You guys are the support. It's not about people ignoring you and looking over you and you not being the one. It's about you guys just learning how to be that support there. You know what I'm saying? That balance being there and it not being all about you, as our North Node as a collective goes to Aquarius. Virgo, I know we like stability. I know we like routine. If things gonna get shaken up, you know, eighth house brings transformations. You know, high highs make low lows. So if you start doing the overthinking, overanalyzing, and angsting yourself, making yourself anxious about the things, guess what? Eighth house gonna flame that up, and the vertex is gonna make you attract whatever is attracted to those hyperactive nervous cells. So be careful with that. All right, y'all definitely want to be careful with that. And my Libras, you guys are coming to expansion and wholeness, but just be mindful of overindulging into your pleasure sensors and those things Philanthropy is also a big one here. Also, big money energy too, because Jupiter deals with business. Venus deals with materials and nice things. So great things happening for my Libras. A lot of expansion, abundance, and the luck with that energy. Kudos to y'all. I like that for y'all. Just don't get too crazy, because the thing with Libras is y'all gotta learn that Libra is justice. That means that, yeah, can't nobody do shit about you. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all got the Oba, y'all have Oba, and whoever else represents justice. Oba is the only one that came to my mind right now. But y'all have the deities of justice. So somebody try to trespass against you, of course, the energies are gonna pull up. However, that applies to you too, love. Like, you can't just be going around doing whatever you want, treat people any kind of way. The example I gave yesterday, and I'm gonna give it again today, is Cardi B. As much as she likes nice things, as nice and intellectual as she can be, the moment she goes into that imbalance scale, Libra scale, she goes straight to court. You know what I'm saying? It's tap on the hand immediately. Bad tabloids immediately. Or here's another man to try to, to bring down your value immediately. You know what I'm saying? So these are the different, things that you can see happening in those Libra scales when we overindulge in them. Wherever placement, it doesn't necessarily have to be your sun. Sun is your experience. It could be your moon, how you feel. It could be your Mercury, how you communicate. It could be in your Venus, what you value. It could be in your Mars, what motivates you. It could be in your Neptune, how you dream in. It could be in Uranus, how you push and how you rebel. It could be in Saturn and how you deal with your challenges and your discipline, how you discipline yourself. It could be in any of those placements. It doesn't necessarily have to be in the sun sign or rising. You know what I'm saying? So for those of you guys between Leo, Virgo, Libra, 7, 8, 9 house to my MC line, community actually came up in reverse. Y'all need to work on building with a community. But we do have Pluto providing transformations to our nurturing self. To do that, we have a and the Pentacles. I like that. This feels very Libra. More Pentacles. More Pentacles. We got the Pentacle energy happening. Don't be stingy though. Be balanced. Now the Queen of Wands is in reverse. So this could be a space of y'all did the work and stuff like that. So it's a good sign. Yeah, because it's under the 3 is highlighted for understanding. So y'all did the work. Y'all did the things. I won't say sit back because it's still a little bit to do. But like I said, with the Virgo in the 8th house, it's a lot of transformations happening too. So sometimes the best thing to do would be to put your arms up and just float and learn how to flow. As much as you want to hold on to things and have your feet on the ground to be grounded. We also had mysticism. This was also in reverse. So that's probably why the Queen of Wands was in reverse too, with that understanding. And then disagreements happening here too. So be careful with that as well. Breaking bonds and contracts, which is heavy on the Libra scales. Bonds and contracts and divorces on the Libra scales. I don't always think it's something wrong with people breaking up and going about their ways. Sometimes you outgrow things. Sometimes things outgrow you. Sometimes it's time to have different conversations. It's just different things. So last but not least, we are coming to our last quadrant, y'all. Quadrant? Quad is 4. So when something is divided into 4 pieces, each piece is a quadrant. It's a quad. Yeah? You never heard that before? Oh, yeah. So we are Scorpio, Sagittarius, and Capricorn. So while the sun is cruising through Taurus, making its way to Gemini, Earth is in Scorpio, cruising its way towards Sagittarius. Wherever the sun is, the moon is in opposition. So the earth is in opposition. So on the new moon day, the earth will be at 29 degrees Scorpio, about to go into Sagittarius as the sun is about to go into Gemini. All right. So our earthly experience will be giving us that last little bit of Scorpio, last little bit of the dramatics. It might even rain that day. It might be a stormy day that day. Down here in Memphis, we've been dealing with rain. The rain clouds ain't been playing about us. A lot of that is the fact that Earth is in Scorpio. What is Scorpio? Scorpio is Oya. That's the goddess of the storms. So it makes sense for us to be experiencing these rainstorms, these rain clouds and all that, because that's all Earth being in Scorpius. right? The MC line is right there between Libra and Scorpio. And we have Lilith over there in Scorpio, and the 10th house is here. So tapping into that Scorpio energy, being into with the transformations, being open to transformations and changes is definitely where the success lies. Also be mindful of the challenges that will bring you success, and that's also in the transformations. You may not understand it all now, but it will come together. Not everything's for you to understand. The universe has peripherals that you can't even fathom, boo. Black Moon Lilith is there. You know, Lilith deals with our primordial self, our rebellious self, our self against like the status quo. What triggers us in other people, what triggers us about other people is usually something about ourselves. You look in the mirror for yourself, because this is the dark side of the moon. So this is the moon is more of a reflector, reflecting all the light around it. So the dark side of the moon ain't really reflecting too much. This is how I really feel. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. This is how I really feel. You know what I'm saying? So, that right now is in Scorpio, is under transformation, and the goal is success here. And then we get into Sagittarius, which is all about expansion and abundance, joy, philosophy, philanthropy. I'll just do this card that fell out. Got thrown at me real quick. There's no celestial bodies in Sagittarius, on the new moon. The 11th house is here. The 11th house is Pisces. That's dealing with endings, things that are beneath the horizon, Akashic records, spirituality, the nervous system. Pisces and Sagittarius go hand in hand for the sacral chakra. So once again, it's another opportunity to overindulge in your sacral chakra. Be mindful of your pleasure centers. Have some sense of boundary and balance for that. It's important. And then we come into the 12th house. The 12th house is the 11th house is Aquarius. I sat here and said Pisces like I was right the whole time. Aquarius. So let me do Sagittarius over again because I fucked it up. Okay, rewind. Sagittarius is about expansion, abundance, philosophy, and philanthropy, the reproductive system, and our pleasure-seeking self. However, the 11th house is about Aquarius. Aquarius is society, So, finding that pleasure to, your philanthropy, giving back to society, friendships, being revolutionary. We talked about this in the beginning, right? When I was talking about Pluto and even talking about the vertex over there in the first house being in Aquarius. It's all about being revolutionary. It's all about, doing things different than what's being done right now. We have this comfort zone, with fixed fire. Fixed fire is like, I do things the way it's always been done, and this is how it does this, and I'm gonna keep doing it. However, air, the Aquarius energy is like, nah, we're going to do it totally different. We're going to do it in ways that's never been done before. I don't want to keep doing it the same way it's been done. I want to do it in a different way. Leo don't really like to take opinions, where Aquarius has all the energy, all the intellect and opinions in the world. You know what I'm saying? So Sagittarius sits in that Aquarius energy. That's that blend of fire and air for us, bringing our joy to that societal realm of being revolutionary. And then we come to the last but not least, we have the 12th house, which is Pisces, the space of endings and closings, and Pluto is over here in the Capricorn constellation. So more things in society as far as challenges like infrastructure. You'll see more businesses closing, more branches of government closing, more people stepping down, coming out of this new moon. This would be a very interesting summer.
I feel like the Joker completely ruined the word society for me.
Really?
Yeah.
It was the Joker for you? I like the Joker. Joker's a good one. But Pluto is revealing secrets, providing transformations, creating power couple energy, developing occultism, which is just cults outside of regular society. And so, we see a lot of that happening with micronations, sovereignty. Where are you going? Oh, he's asleep.
Yeah.
My dog is running in his sleep.
He does this like every time. I think it's a transition from regular sleep to deep sleep. He like starts like tweaking out.
He going somewhere because he running fast. Do he need to be wake up? Is this like a Freddy Krueger situation happening?
I mean,
Scooby!
Whenever he does this, it's either a bad dream
there you
or
go.
it's
I saved his life.
Whenever he does that, it's either a bad dream or he's going into deep sleep.
Oh, well, I just saved him. He's out right now.
Oh, look at you, I'm finally taking this. Oh man.
So yeah, Pluto's providing the empowering transformations. We do see the cults happening amongst the main frame of society, as far as like people wanting their autonomy, and we're being state nationals now. We're creating our micronations and independent communities and going off grid and getting dual citizenship and becoming, what do you call it? Nomads, and not being associated with any land, and all that stuff's happening. You know what I'm saying? That's all Pluto hanging over there, and Capricorn in the 12th house. A lot of things are going to come to a close or come to an ending because of that. Of course, we have people that don't fully understand the whole picture. So while they see some people that are like moving to separate themselves, that's going to result in those things are separating themselves to become more and more eradicated. And so we're going to have more and more people like politicians and grassroots activists and stuff coming like, we have to keep this alive. Why are they closing the schools? Why did the... We've been knew they wasn't teaching shit in them schools. We've been knew it was indoctrination camps. Them textbooks is outdated. The No Child Left Behind is bullshit. These kids are not learning basic things that help them succeed. The things that they're learning, the pressure, the testing, all this stuff, you guys are developing individuals that are not mentally or emotionally balanced. They don't know how to operate in nature. They don't know how to operate in society. They don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to socialize. They don't know how to do any of those things in these schools. You know what I'm saying?
They hire hate kids.
And it's all about ego war. It's ego war in the classroom between the teachers and the students, the administrators and the students. We just going back and forth about you being on your cell phone. It ain't got nothing to do with your education all day long. You know what I'm saying? So, be mindful of the things. And a lot of these things have to need or require us to believe in it for it to exist. So the moment we stop believing in the public education system to a far enough extent, the education system is not going to exist anymore. The more of us that stop believing in the federal government, it's going to dismantle. And guess what? All the resources and the kickbacks and all the shit that they had attached to them is going to dismantle as well. And that might dismantle first because they're trying to save themselves. They realize, the brain is so powerful. The brain is what creates realities. I don't think y'all realize that. The brain is the projector. The brain creates realities. So I create the social media thing that has frequencies that tap into your brain, so even your thoughts show up in a Google search. You ain't even type in a Google search. All you did was think about some sneakers. And now when you go on Google, some sneakers pop up. Read your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's intentional because these people are fighting to stay in existence. They're fighting for your beliefs. If I infiltrate your brain well enough, if I have these virus, you know what a virus is? A virus is a little thingy, and it just got the outer proteins, and it has a whole bunch of DNA just floating around inside. And so what a virus does is it floats to a host, and it injects all the DNA. What is DNA? DNA is information for replication. So they drop all the DNA into the host, and now all your cells take on this information into your nucleus and is replicating it. And you meet more people, you keep replicating, replicating it. That's what a virus does. So when somebody's post or information goes viral, they just took that virus, that information they had, and made it replicate in so many other people's minds. And if I want some shit to happen, I have the intellect to know. I just need, I need a certain percentage of you humans, y'all brains, to come together and think what I need y'all to think to make something actually come into existence. Like so many of us thought so much about beyond the ice wall that now that's becoming a regular conversation about what's beyond the ice wall and stuff like that. And like I predicted a few years back, it's going to be more open about the exploration. It's going to be more open about the land on the other side of the ice wall because we keep thinking it and we keep talking about it, and it's enough of our brains coming together, like create a reality where there's more shit beyond the ice wall. Create a reality where these things are happening. Create a reality where these things are true. And guess what? It's becoming true. So if I was an evil genius, if I was on my plankton shit trying to get the secret Krabby Patty formula, what would I do? I would put a chum bucket on y'all heads. And I would make y'all collectively think what I want y'all to think. You know what I'm saying? So y'all be careful on the social media, because while, we are successfully creating endings, on the 12 or whatever, with certain things, transformations happen there, revelations, there's energy that's fighting to stay in survival. And some of y'all are so Some people are very ignorant, and I don't mean that as an insult. I mean that as an observation, an adjective. Ignorant, lack of intellect, lack of information, lack of knowledge about this shit only exists because we believe in it, and it's not supposed to be something that we believe in. So those people going to create grassroots complaint campaigns like we got to have our schools back. We got to have the federal government back. We have to have these things back because that's what they're comfortable with. That's what they're used to. They're going to be called on to be their own revolutionary. They're going to be called on to create their own or revive their own. But you, if that's not the reality you want to live in and you want to be part of, then you have to have the inner authority to create what you want to create. Pluto is about occultism. You know what I'm saying? So infrastructures for occultism, infrastructures for different nations. Not only are we breaking down, but we're also building up at the same time. It happens at the same time. The number 8, Scorpio is associated with the number 8. That's transformations. That's the 8th house, right? What is the 8? What does the 8 look like? It's 2 circles, right? I remember Schoolhouse Rock when old girl was, ice skating into the 8.
It is quite great. I don't know what you were saying.
Okay. so with that being said, going down and going upward is happening at the same time with the figure 8. So it could be easy to get caught up in all the destruction, but also like get just as caught up in the reconstruction that the different cultures are coming to, and be your authenticity, because Pluto gonna reveal your truth anyway. Some of y'all like, oh, I'm gonna be a leader. I'm gonna make my own cult, and some of y'all doing that from y'all ego, and y'all think y'all not gonna get caught out there. Pluto ain't playing with your ass either. You gonna get caught. You're gonna get caught probably quicker than the rest of these people, because that's the type of time Pluto's on right now anyway. You know what I'm saying? And people be like, well, why me and why they didn't get caught? They've been doing that shit for years, because this is where Pluto at right now. Don't think they're not getting caught. They're just not showing y'all everything. They're not showing y'all everything because what is that? I don't want those thoughts going viral. I don't want me being reprimanded and all these different things that's happening over here with me to become a viral conversation amongst human brains, because that's going to solidify certain things. Y'all got to think like an evil villain. Y'all not thinking evil enough. Think big, okay? I love the art of word. You got to think like, bro, if I was an evil villain and I knew the power of the mindset and I knew the power of psychology and in the brain and connected to the eyeballs and all that shit like that. Oh yeah, I'm playing on y'all in these ones and zeros. I'm definitely finna be on my viral shit. Hey Gregory. So here's the reading. We got Scorpio with the 10th house for success and the transformations. Lilith sitting there giving us our primordial energy. You have Sagittarius in the 11th house giving us being societal and revolutionary, finding joy, being philanthropists, getting your wisdom in there. Foreign interactions in society is big here too. So we're expanding ourselves here. Then we have the 12th house, which is our space of endings and closings, and Pluto creating the transformations, revealing the truths, and occultism, and Capricorn, which is infrastructure, challenges, traumas, and stuff like that. So we're bringing a lot of that shit to a close. We're destroying a lot of stuff, and we're reconstructing more. And you decide what side you want to stand on or what you want to overly focus on. Be careful. When it comes to a figure 8, I'm trying to stand in the middle. I ain't trying to be up top with the high or down there with the lows, because both of them is on the slope, and I ain't got time for that. I'll be right in the middle. Okay, meet me in the middle. You know what I'm saying? And because to me, I like balance. All right. So, but we have the transformations creating there. Y'all, when they start destroying shit, let them destroy the shit. Like our ancestors wanted this shit destroyed. All this shit was created to oppress our ancestors, to oppress our people, to where now we're here and this is all we fucking know. We can't think beyond it. We think we gotta fight for it and stuff like that. No, we don't. It's because we don't fully understand the roots of it all. Capricorn is here for the roots too, to give you the understanding, the roots, the root chakra layout of all these things too. So start looking into roots. You know what I'm saying? Look into the roots of these corporations. Look into the roots of the police departments. Look into the roots of these different cities. If you live in a certain city, learn the history of your city. When was your city born? Who born it? Who born it? I like that. Put that in a song. Who birthed it? Who birthed that city? Why? What's the constitution for that state? What's the codes? Why? Look up the protections. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of y'all states still are still under like old French English, Britain laws. Y'all don't even know it because y'all not looking at the roots of the thing. Y'all just going into rooms, being modern, being present here and the now, not realizing a lot of this shit is still embedded in like ancient culture because time is not linear for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? So bend your brain a little bit, realize that this is bigger than the third dimension or even the fourth dimension. We're infinite dimensions. And the more dimensions you allow yourself to be aware of, the more you'll see like, oh shit, this shit really is like magic, weird shit. Yeah, it is. It's kind of cool. So all right, so from our Scorpio, Sag, Capricorn energy, we got radiance, y'all. The Sun card, and look. This is exactly what I'm talking about. See the house over there burning down. We got the destruction happening, but we also got rebuilding. Ain't even worried about you over there running the bucket nigga with the deer, the flowers, reconstructing, giving birth, whatever. Not even paying attention. So it's all about where you would rather sit at. You know what I'm saying? Are you trying to be this person that's hyper focused on the reconstruction? Are you trying to be over here too busy staring at the burning house that you don't even notice the reconstruction happening? Are you going to be the person in the middle, being surrounded by everything and you just in stillness, not contributing to anything? Like, there's no wrong answer to this. It's all about where you want to be. You know what I'm saying? Are you the mountain on the other side, hoping that your turn not next? Like, it's wherever you want to be. Everybody got their place. We got the Seven of Swords here. We got the thoughts, the wisdom, the intellect coming from God themselves. Take them downloads, y'all. Get them downloads from the Scorpios, the Sagittarius, and the Capricorns. We also have the reverse justice card. And honestly, when I see the reverse justice card, what it means to me is, one, for certain, there definitely is imbalance happening here. However, we also have a clock in a corner that lets us know that in due time, it can reverse itself. But right now, we're in balance. And so, when you look at the number 8, we could very well be, on a high or a low at the moment. And I won't say that's okay, but it is okay because we know in due time, we're gonna get to the other side of that figure 8. All right, we have the wisdom. We know how this shit work. Y'all have been through so many different explosive what the fuck transformations at this point in the game. Like, y'all should know. Like, bro, you know how much shit I survived, bro. You know how much stuff I survived. I survived so much stuff. I have been in such worse places, and I made it, here. And I pay attention to my energy and how I was putting myself out there, how I was still showing up regardless of what I was going through, and I'm still here. Like, bro, that should give you something. That should let you know in due time you're gonna be good. We also got the reverse Seven of Cups. I'm gonna keep the things that I don't usually keep these in reverse, but I'm gonna keep them in reverse. 7 is still dealing with Libra, so we still got the imbalance. Now it's imbalance in emotions. Venus and Scorpio. So that's where it's happening at. So now we're still dealing with the 8. Scorpio, Venus, what we value. So that's where it's happening at. The imbalance and the injustices in the materials, what we value, what we prioritize, our self-esteem. It could also be in our emotions. It depends on what your reality is. Some of y'all are more so tapped into like nature, my emotions, y'all can feel the imbalance there. Some of y'all are more so tapped into like material things, business, money, all that type of things, and y'all feel that imbalance there. And that does coincide with the Justice card. All right, but let's bring it back to this. This is a part of the game. I gave y'all a whole lecture about that. Hey, goddess. And it's all net talk. It's in what we design, right? So transformations happen there. Ha, I caught you. Yeah, I just started today. I wasn't doing this before. I literally just started today. Workaholic here. So, that puts you in a space here. Be mindful of being a workaholic. We talked about that earlier, about y'all trying to keep the system up and keeping it together while it's in destruction. And maybe if I work harder, or maybe if I do this, or maybe I do that, keep things alive. That's not your responsibility. But if you want it to be your responsibility as your world, this is the result of that, the workaholic. And this is on the blue card. So that's dealing with throat chakra. Daily routine, we're dealing with Mercury energy there with the workaholic energy. I don't want to be no workaholic. Fun. And that's where the imbalance of the Justice card and the Seven of Cups, which is Venus and Scorpio card, is coming from, those transformations and that business energy and the materials and the emotions and the connectivity and stuff like that. There's imbalance happening there because it's undergoing transformation. So let it go undergo transformation, or you're just gonna sit in the workaholic. Now, the way these cards are set up right now, this is what I had in reverse. Now, I really don't do these in reverse because really no point. It's my African divination card. But good transformations. is at the bottom, reassuring you that transformation is good. It literally says good transformations. I ain't got a lot of y'all, okay? And y'all sit here and watch me shuffle and pull my cards. And the number up there is 69 because we know we love it here. But and 69 comes together and makes 6, right? Because 6 and 9 come together, they make 1 and 5. This was the mathematics for the ninth a couple days ago, yeah? So, come together and make 1 and 5. Now we're in our solar plexus chakra, enforcing our intellect. And we come back into the 6, so equality here. Good transformations. What you put in is what you get out on them transformations. I really like this whole situation right here. This was good. This is a really good situation right here. It could stay good. This is exactly what we see in society right now. This is what I be wanting to grab a megaphone and scream like, yo, y'all gotta be way more intentional than y'all being about how we're spending our energy. What our focus is on. What's your mission statement? When I do my podcast, not especially, but when I do my podcast, The Cosmic Nobody's Conversation, that's one of the first questions I ask my guests. What's your mission statement? Why are you here? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? What's up? Because if you don't have a mission statement, if you don't have a why, it's so easy for the government to come up here, a celebrity to come up here, some little nappy-headed boy or some nappy-headed girl to come into your space and do some crazy shit, and you just like get so swayed and so knocked off, and now you fucked up. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be that way. You should have a mission statement. You should have, I really like business plans. I like to set up the cause and effect of business plan. I think that's something that you should have for your personal life too. You should have a business plan for your personal life. It don't have to be structured because I'm trying to get some grants and loans or nothing. It gotta be nothing like that. But when you think about the elements that make up a business plan, your mission statement, who your target audience is. Your target audience is who do you want in your space? What kind of people do you want in your space? What are your boundaries? What's your law and your order? How are you going about implementing and executing these things? You know what I'm saying? What you want to do? What are the expenses to doing that? What kind of income is required? What are you willing to do for that income? What are you not willing to do? Where do you get your support from? Who's supporting you? Like, that's all in the business plan. That's something that you should have for your personal self. That way, can't nobody come into your space and tell you, oh, well, this person ain't shit. That person ain't doing nothing for you. I'll do something for you. I can isolate you from everybody and everything real easy and get you to think what I want to think. Can't nobody do that to you. Can't nobody do that to you. And you have stuff planned out like that. So I want to say that to everybody that's like contributing to the transformations. It's like, yo, be in tune with your mission statement. Some of y'all are here and y'all want what's best and this, that, and the third. And it's like y'all have this target audience of I want my pro-black people, but then you want to uphold a KKK system, a KKK generated system, but you want your target audience to be pro-black people. How's that work? We don't give a fuck about the system. I want everybody to vote, so I'm going to the pro-black people that to vote. Like, how that? I don't think you thought that one through, buddy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Stay on your square. And that's better to do when you do your business plan. And it's a whole adventure that you go through too. I ain't sitting there talking about no sit down and write it one time and once it's done the one time you're done for the day. That's something that like eventually you're gonna go through some adventures every quarter, almost every quarter. I'll go back. I have like a basic business plan. I'm gonna get more in detail with it later when I don't know why I would, but I might. But I do have a personal business plan too, and every now and then I'll go back and I'll read it, you know what I'm saying, and I'll go edit it, say I want to change this, I don't like this no more, these people ain't my target audience no more, you know what I'm saying, I learned my lesson, different things like that come up. But that's what I got for y'all today. I really appreciate y'all tapping in. I ain't been here in a minute, being transparent with y'all. I've been dealing with a lot of transformations in my space and trying to find balance in this space right now. I'm challenging myself to pay my bills with my business. So far, so good. I'm very proud of myself. I do battle, patterns of sadness and anxiety real bad. And so I just had my little 45-day spiel and I'm coming out of it and I feel good. And so that's where we're at now. So y'all definitely gonna see more of me as I come out of my stuff. And yeah, feel free to follow me. If you guys would like a reading, energy awareness reading, I specialize in aligning your astrological placements into your chakras, your Netter, and your Sephiro. so that you can have energy awareness. I do have awareness of my energy. Once upon a time, I did not have awareness of when I felt depressed or when I was feeling anxiety. I would just feel these things and I would act them out. And I didn't have awareness. I didn't know how to communicate it. I didn't, I just didn't, know. I just didn't know. You know what I'm saying? And so now I'm in the space of awareness, and in addition to me having awareness, I have these exercises, I have these activities, I have these things that I have put in place for myself to where like I'm not trying to suppress what it is that I'm going through or ignore or be indifferent or pretend like it's not happening. I'm going to go through it. I'm going to sit in it. I'm going to go through it at the speed of what I'm going to go. Like last one, like I said, was 45 days. 45 days, 45 days. And guess what? I was journaling. I was praying. I was meditating. I was taking my bath. I bought myself flowers. I was cleaning my house. I had my things. And I'm like, when I stop feeling this way is when I'll stop feeling this way. And I slowly got myself out of it. And that's the power of energy awareness. It's not going to prevent you from having these cycles again. Is letting these are things you can do when you have these cycles. These are, different parts of self that's being affected by certain cycles and why and stuff like that. And that's what I do in my readings, and I take a lot of pride in that. With my numerology readings, I get it, I align you with society. Now this is your astrological makeup and how it's interacting in society through periods and pinnacles and stuff. And when you get into your name, pretty much coincides with your astrological placements. I ain't gonna hold you. I've noticed the pattern. Same thing with your life path number. That's more personal. Your external planets definitely may coincide with your numerology a lot more too. It's a whole thing. You're an infinite being. I can read you forever and not be done. That's why I focus on me. But I can help you with your things. And I do this in a one-on-one meeting. I also teach classes. My next class is July 5th. I have the Astrology 101 course. So if you guys are interested in learning about the basic building blocks of the planets, the houses, the zodiacs, the constellations, some of the fixed stars in the constellations, like the most famous fixed stars in the constellations, the asteroids, the aspects, the different designs that are made on the chart. If you guys look at the circular chart and you don't know what you're looking at, I can help you with that. I also teach that in my Astrology 101 course. I get into the history of astrology and how it's been used over time, up until the moment it was demonized in Deuteronomy. I get into, the different ways we can use astrology today. It's not just about getting in tune with, the electromagnetic fields around you. It's also, you can use it for agriculture. You can use it for business building. You can use it for traveling. You can use it for like nature and stuff. It's just different ways that you can utilize it, rise above it. It's alchemy, and I like what I do. I've been doing what I do for over 10 years now. I'm really good at it. I also have jewelry, and for those of you guys that are in the Memphis area or want to come out to the Memphis area every Friday, I'll host an open mic night. You guys can follow me on Sunshine Monet L. I make music, positive affirmation music. You guys can also find anywhere, all streaming platforms under Sunshine Monet L. I have a couple platforms that I just joined. One is the Pathway to Legacy, which is a really good platform to join to gain insight of self in a more calculated way. Shouts to just keep it at Ja. Shouts to Ja. If you guys would like my link so you guys can join the Pathway to Legacy, to join is free. I also will be slowly weaning myself off of streaming on certain sites and being a little bit more exclusive. I just got made an account on Go Live Streamer, and that app just started like a month ago. So I'll be streaming on that app a little bit more and doing more regular, readings and stuff like that. So if y'all want to see me on a more regular basis and stuff like that, I'll be over there on that streaming app. So those are the two apps that, I'm a part of. You guys can join for the free. Just reach out to me so I can give you the link, because if I give you the link through me, I get paid for that shit. So, let me know. You heard of Epic? The only Epic I heard of is a trading platform. And that's also something else I'm getting back into, is trading. I think my next Forex trading class is in August. So if you guys are interested in learning how to Forex trade, got you. I still need that GoFundMe. Like, I got you. Epic Studios. I don't think I've heard of Epic Studios. That's different.
The animators?
Hey, Leonidas.
Are you talking about the animators?
I don't know. That's Miss Goddess was talking. Mm. But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take a nap because I gotta get up early in the morning and fandango and hustle and do some things real quick for the rest of my day. I'll be back doing the Oh, Miss Danielle said, "Hey,
Hello.
hello." I'm gonna get back into doing the daily mathematics, so I'll be up here way more often. Again, slowly though. Give me grace. I mean, we myself back on. I don't want to nose dive and then relapse. But that's what I got for y'all today. I really appreciate y'all tapping in and being supportive as always. She said she needs some of your characters on some buttons. Oh yeah, I was giving out them buttons. They love them little pin buttons too. Everybody loved my pin buttons that I made with your drawings.
Yeah.
Yeah. She said.
I just want to make special art from buttons.
So okay, so that could be something. Since you need some inspiration for drawing, why don't you design some buttons that we could print out?
Okay.
Cool. When the hell you had those? Cause I was putting them in swag bags. I've been over here on a frenzy trying to market. I'm gonna let y'all go on YouTube. Thank y'all for tapping in.
Did I cut out the money for the buttons?
I wasn't charging. I had those in the swag